Rockhurst and Blue Springs have had some monumental football battles.
Cromley. Straight drop. Throwing deep. He's got a man open. Intercepted at the goal line. He's 7 yards deep. He's got it again. And he's got a touchdown for the Wildcats, and they take the lead.
Tonight we expect more of the same. Blue Springs, Rockhurst next on Metro Sports. Good evening and welcome to a jam-packed PV Stadium in Blue Springs as tonight Metro Sports presents Missouri 5A state quarterfinal football action and a doozy. Number 3 Rockhurst taking on number 1 and undefeated Blue Springs. Kevin White with you here on the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week here on Metro Sports. They're two of the storied programs in the Kansas City area and two of the best. They've been squaring off since 1981. And look at that series. Very close. Rockhurst leads it 14-12. But in playoff games, Blue Springs leads 5-3. But in the last playoff meeting, Rockhurst rallied to beat Blue Springs 20-16. My broadcast partner, J.C. Pearson, former Kansas City Chiefs player. Big ball game tonight. Big players need to step it up. Start with Rockhurst.
That's exactly right. And for Rockhurst, their big play guy, of course, the running back, Tony Temple, another 1,000-yard season. But in their first meeting earlier this year, only held to 46 yards rushing, had a crucial fumble, and this critical drop pass right here. He's going to be fired up and ready to run tonight. And if Rockhurst is going to win, he's got to have a huge game for him.
And he has over 1,000 yards and 16 touchdowns. As far as Blue Springs, great passing combination of Justin Whitworth, the quarterback, to wideout Josh Barge.
No question about it. Quarterback Justin Whitworth having a tremendous season. 18 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, over 1,600 yards passing. And when he's throwing, he's looking for this guy right here. Josh Barge has over 9 touchdowns on the season, and he's the guy that concerns Rockhurst the most. He can create mismatches and get deep on you in a hurry.
Now, there is an injury question mark. Andrew Tuggle, the leading rusher for the Wildcats, injured his shoulder against Blue Springs South on November 2nd. He has a deep bruise in the shoulder, but he will go tonight. Should be a good one. Rockhurst, Blue Springs, full house. Our kickoff next on Metro Sports.
The High School Game of the Week is brought to you by Hy-Vee and their 20 Kansas City area employee-owned Hy-Vee locations, Farmers Insurance, and these Kansas City Metro agents. Contact your local Farmers agent today. Remember, Farmers get you back where you belong. BrandSmart, the big screen store. KC Bobcat in Blue Springs, Grandview, and Olathe. And by AMC Theaters.
Some 10,000 expected here in Blue Springs tonight. And we check in now with the third member of our crew. That's Lacey Woolard.
Hi, Kevin. How you doing? I am down on the field with Scoop, the Examiner mascot this evening. And boy, did the Examiner front page tell it all. This is huge. It reads rematch, and it's going to be big. I'm going to hop around, interview some people. Are you ready for this one tonight? It's going to be a lot of fun. Kevin, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Lacey. And there's Tony Severino, head coach of Rockhurst, in his 21st year, all-time winningest coach in the school's history. 177 wins. On the other side, the youngster, 34-year-old Kelly Donahoe, in his second season. His overall coaching record is very good, 46-9. That includes his Raytown South days, but 21-2 here for the purple and gold of Blue Springs. Blue Springs won the toss. They've deferred their option to the second half. They'll kick off with Danny Watkins. And we are underway in quarterfinal action. Fielded by an up man, Nick Johnson, for the Hawklets. Takes it up to the 34-yard line, and that's where Chris Cummings and the Rockhurst offense will run their first set of the night. Chris Cummings, more of the rushing quarterbacks, as they have 2 quarterbacks to play. They also have Johnny Sweeney. He's the passer of the 2, but Cummings had a big touchdown run against Oak Park of 61 yards last week as he rushed for 85 yards in that ball game. 1st and 10 now. Nick Johnson and Marlon Butler starting in the backfield, and flags are going to be thrown in on this play, as a referee tonight is Kent Henry. Tony Severino said that penalties are going to be crucial tonight as we check the Hawklets offensively up front. Boyd, Vossman, O'Connor, Kane, and Rosenthal. As you can see, Tony Temple not starting this ball game. Nick Johnson will start at tailback tonight for Rockhurst. So Tony Temple out of the lineup. JC, you were talking with the coach before the game. He missed some practice time, I guess.
Yeah, he had an unexcused practice this week, and I don't know how you can do that coming into this ball game, but he did it, and that's the reason why he's not starting.
1st and 15 now. They use the fullback going off the left side. Marlon Butler up to the 30 and then push back. Give him a gain of 1. And this is a very stout Blue Springs Wildcat defense. As we take a look at it up front, they've got Bach, McMullen, Taylor, and Pennington. But the linebackers the key here. These guys outstanding. Byer, Ringwood, Weatherspoon, and Pike. Watch out for Curtis Cooper. He's a burner in the secondary. Second down and long. 2nd down and 13 now for the Hawklets on their first drive. Running the option. Cummings trying to turn the corner, and he's stuck hard there. Jeff Troy coming up from the secondary to make the stop. It's going to be 3rd down and long here, JC.
Good run defense by Blue Springs. You can see they just run the option down the line, but Blue Springs, they play that 4-4. They've got 8 guys in the box at all times. That means somebody is going to be unblocked. Jeff Troy, the free safety, he does a great job of filling in run support on the option.
There you look at Bruce Ringwood, one of the linebackers. It's 3rd down and 9 now for the Hawklets as they scrimmage from their own 35-yard line. Marlon Butler is the lone setback. Setting up the throw, and under pressure, it's sacked. Billy Byer made the first contact, number 52.
You can see they do a good job of just blitzing, and nobody just touches Byers out on the outside. It's just a sprint to the quarterback. You can see downfield, it's good coverage. They're going to play some man coverage, and you can see there's nobody open right there. That's a coverage sack, but also when you're playing man-to-man coverage, those guys up front have got to get to the quarterback. They do a great job this time.
7th sack of the season for Billy Byer. He leads the team in that category. Running time now for the Hawklets. Jeff Snodgrass gets it off. No, he doesn't. It's loose. Picked up by Rockhurst. And Blue Springs has blocked another punt. Oh, my. What a start for the special teams for the Wildcats.
You talk about a difference maker. Special teams will do it for you every time. People tend to think that there's only offense and defense, but special teams is huge. And look at that. Great job. 2 guys just laying out right there at the point. You can see, look at that. That is something that you work on right there. Laying out by Jeff Troy. Great job of getting his hands on the ball at the block point. Tremendous momentum shift for Blue Springs.
From the 27 in Rockhurst territory, Justin Whitworth is the quarterback. Lone setback is Andrew Tuggle as Curtis Cooper goes in motion. Toss sweep to Tuggle. Trying to go outside. I don't think so. Rich Whitney, great tackle at the 31-yard line. Let's check the Wildcats offensively tonight up front. Taylor, Brown, Seago, Case, and Warrenbrock. Leading rusher, Andrew Tuggle, but he's a little nicked up with a bad shoulder. And the leading receiver, All-State from last year, Josh Barge. Andrew Tuggle about 80% according to Kelly Donahoe with a deep deltoid bruise.
And for a running back, that's the worst kind of injury you can have, because every play you've got to go on and take somebody on, whether you're running or blocking, and those shoulders take a pounding.
Loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. Here's Tuggle again following his blocks and gets down near the 25-yard line in a pickup of about 3. Defensively for Rockhurst, they look like this up front. Weglars, Boyd, Butler, and Orschlin. Top tackler is Kevin Kane with 100 total tackles. And watch the corner, Noah Strozier. He's a D1 prospect. He wears number 6. Rockhurst got some big daddies on that front line, some heavy eaters there, as it's going to be 3rd down and 8 now. Blue Springs trying to capitalize on the punt block. Whitworth on the roll. Now we'll tuck and run, and he'll come up shy of the 1st down as Kevin Kane there to belt him to the natural grass turf here, and it's going to be 4th down.
Rockhurst, they do a good job in coverage. As you can see, they just motion Tuggle to create an empty set. He just runs to the flat right here and then turns it up. But by the time he turns it up, there's nobody left, and you can see right here, Whitworth, he's trying to wait and buy some time, but he can't do it. The pressure's coming. Just tries to get all he can. Kane does a great job of coming up with the strong tackle.
It's going to be 4th and 4 here. And they're going to attempt a field goal as Danny Watkins going to try a 38-yarder out of the hold of Whitworth. He's 7 for 9 this year. He's a very good kicker. It's right through there. 3-0 Wildcats. 38 yards by the senior Danny Watkins.
And that's big. You've got to get points off of turnovers. They come up with the big punt block. They don't do very much on offense, but they've got a kicker that can get points on the board for them. That is crucial to be able to take advantage of every opportunity. You can see he's got a strong leg. He kicks that thing right down the middle, and he's got plenty of distance there. I tell you, in a tight ball game like this is going to be, the field goal kicker can be a tremendous asset for you, because instead of stalling on that drive, they're able to bring him in and come out with 3 points.
So special teams making a big impact early. First the punt block and then the field goal.
Special teams is critical, especially in a big game like this. 2 very good ball clubs. The margin for error is going to be so slight, and any special teams play, a big punt return or a punt block can be the difference in the entire ball game.
Deep back Marcus Perry and Colin Charbonneau. Another short kick. And it's muffed. It's loose on the field. And the Wildcats say they have it. No word from the men in stripes yet. Blue Springs football. Couple of big errors on the special teams, costing Rockhurst as Darius Weatherspoon covers it up.
Mistakes by Rockhurst early. You see, he just takes his eye off the ball. You've got to secure the football, and then it's a scrum at the bottom right there. Blue Springs is able to come away with it. But Rockhurst, they're not accustomed to shooting themselves in the foot. It's going to be interesting to see how their psyche is right now, if they're going to get hesitant and get very conservative, or the defense is going to come out and make a big play for them.
Ball on the 30, 1st and 10. Cooper in motion. Tuggle the lone setback. Whitworth rolling near side, firing, and through the hands of Josh Barge, incomplete. Coverage by Rich Whitney there. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Barge is a guy they want to get the ball to early and often. Whitworth's got to get rid of the ball a lot quicker. Barge just runs to the flat, and he's open, but the ball is a little late. It allows the defender to close on him. You can see Whitworth on the season, very efficient, 106 completions out of 191 attempts, 18 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. That is a tremendously efficient young man right there at quarterback.
2nd down and 10. Joey Vaughn goes in motion. Play action. Whitworth setting up the screen, and he finds Curtis Cooper. Cooper with the good wheels, breaks to the outside, has the 1st down, and he's ushered out of bounds. So the Wildcats using the screen effectively there, JC.
A great call, especially when you have a team that is somewhat aggressive very early in the game. They want to get up the field after the quarterback. So what you do is you just let them guys get up the field, and you can see right there, he's just going to sneak right back across the field, and there's no one there on the screen. And look at the linebackers right there. They over-pursue him, and you can see again, great job of letting those guys up front get upfield, just throwing the screen right under them. Then after that, it's just all athletic ability.
15 yards in the play, 1st and 10 from the 15. Tuggle blown up. Marlon Butler comes shooting through along with Kevin Kane. And Tuggle with that sore shoulder had to feel it there, JC.
No question about it. These are 2 very big, physical, aggressive defenses. They're not going to give an inch. You see just a great job. Butler just right there in the middle. And you can see those guys their pads are low and they are laying some wood on each other out there.
No gain, 2nd down and 10. A muff kickoff set up this drive for Blue Springs. Whitworth rolling, firing, and the pass is caught by the fullback, and it's going to be a short pickup of only about 3 as a nice open field stop by Jeff Angold for Rockhurst.
Blue Springs just running the bootleg, trying to get this defense that's aggressive to over pursue, but everyone stays right home, and just a great open field tackle by Jeff Angold. They're in man coverage. That's a great job of minding his own business and doing his own job, because if he misses that tackle or gets caught looking in the backfield, that could have been a touchdown.
It's going to be 3rd down and 8 now for the Wildcats. Already leading 3-0. Pitch it out to Tuggle, trying to get outside. Makes 2 miss. But going to go down after a short pickup as he's gang tackled shy of the 1st down.
Tell you, this Rockhurst defense is fast. They can go sideline to sideline. They're big up front. As you can see, big Marlon Butler right there. Little winded, but I tell you, the linebackers in the secondary, those guys pursue awfully fast.
Holding coming up on the Wildcats here. Kelly Donahoe surveying the offensive play scheme there. He calls all the plays. Former University of Kansas quarterback is Kelly Donahoe.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
You'll just see outside the wide receiver right there, Josh Barge. He just gets his hands extended on Jeff Angold, and anytime you see that jersey pull, the referees are going to throw that flag on you.
It's going to be now 3rd down and 18 after the penalty. Whitworth on the roll, pressure coming, firing toward the end zone for Mayfield. It is long and incomplete. So it's going to be 4th down and long. Rich Whitney with the coverage for the Hawklets. There you look at Phil Mayfield. Transfer from Blue Springs South.
He had a little room out there in the end zone. Whitworth just a little overthrown. It's tough to throw on the run. They're trying to roll him out, move the pocket to buy some time for him. But when you do that, you also have to be conscious that you've got to set your feet and throw the ball. It's very tough to throw it on the run.
And keep in mind, Whitworth a little nicked up tonight. He has a bad knee and a sore ankle. His left ankle is heavily taped. Danny Watkins hit from 38 earlier. And this one going to be from 41. No good. So just off the mark for Danny Watkins, and we remain at 3-0 Blue Springs with 5:34 to go here in the 1st quarter. So Rockhurst bends, but they don't give up any points after that kickoff muff.
The defense does a good job coming in with adversity and holding Blue Springs to no points right there. Their offense has got to come back and answer right now. About how big special teams could be, and you want to take advantage of every opportunity that you have. It's just wide right there at plenty leg, just a little wide.
Nick Johnson and Marcus Perry now in the backfield here. And now Cummings just doing a quarterback sneak here on 1st and 10. Not much there, and Troy Pike gave the quarterback, Chris Cummings, a hard shot late in the play there. I mean, he popped him right in the grill here.
And these guys are taught to play until the whistle blows. They just want to get a quarterback sneak, try to loosen up this defense a little bit instead of going down. He's trying to still fight for yardage, so he's live right there. That's a legal hit, and anytime you get a guy stood up like that, especially early in the game, you want to set a tone and a tempo. Blue Springs let Cummings know that they're going to be hitting him tonight.
2nd down and 8 now. On the option, Cummings in trouble, going nowhere. Billy Byer back there. Great job by the linebackers for Blue Springs, and the option never got going there, JC.
And we're probably seeing the 2 best defenses in the entire metro area. That's because these guys are so fast and so big for Blue Springs South. For Blue Springs, they play this 4-4, and you can see that there's always going to be someone that is unblocked. And that makes it tough to run. Darius Witherspoon just is waiting for the quarterback right there. What Rockhurst has got to do, they've got to try to throw the ball. They've got to loosen this defense up a little bit. before they're able to run.
And now there's an injured Hawklet. John O'Connor, the center, is shaken up. Fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you're showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. Keep in mind, this message brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and Metro Sports.
You know, I mentioned that Rockhurst is going to have to start throwing the ball and be much more balanced. That's because with this 4-4 alignment that Blue Springs plays, they've got 4 linebackers out there and only 3 secondary players. So there's a lot of room in the secondary, even when they're playing zone.
Rockhurst, champions of the District 15, come in number 3 in the Metro Sports Bowl. The lone loss back on September 10th, the Blue Springs at Dasta Stadium on the Rockhurst campus, 21-7. And since that loss, they've been rolling, JC. They've outscored their opponents 361-34.
Coach Severino said that he really thought that loss benefited them in the long run because they had a lot of questions about their team going into that game, and they were able to find out exactly where they were. And then it showed their kids that, hey, they can't just show up, put on that Rockhurst uniform, and people are going to roll over for them. So it gave them a renewed sense of urgency.
And O'Connor now on his feet, walking off with the trainers. Of course, last year Rockhurst was 14-0 and the 5A state champions. Now 3rd down and 6 after the injury timeout. New center is J.B. Klingler for Rockhurst. Toss sweep. Nick Johnson trying to turn the corner. And the Wildcats are there to apprehend him. Jeff Troy there. And it's going to be 4th down and short here for the Hawklets.
I talked about how fast these defenses are. They just run the toss out here. And look how many purple jerseys are out there. You see 5 jerseys out there on the toss before the running back can even get there. Watch these linebackers. Look how fast they flow to the ball. They keep their shoulders parallel and run straight down the line of scrimmage like you're taught to do. Just a tremendous job of pursuit by Blue Springs.
Bruce Ringwood also in on the tackle, one of the linebackers. As punting time for Jeff Snodgrass. Deep back is Josh Barge. First one didn't go well for Snodgrass. He got it blocked. Gets this one away. Averages 38.3 yards per punt. From the 38, Barge makes one miss, ducks through a couple more, and takes it up to the 46-yard line. A return of 8 yards by Josh Barge, and the Wildcats leading 3-0 will get it back in very good field position.
As you said, Kevin, very good field position, and that's going to be critical in tonight's game also. When you have 2 very good teams like these guys, every little aspect of the game can be huge. Field position, special teams, just big plays. And Coach Donahoe is looking, talked to him a little bit in the pregame. He said they're looking to make a big play early on offense.
Tuggle in the backfield. Barge and Cooper split wide as Vaughn goes in motion. Toss it out to Tuggle. Fake the reverse. And Tuggle's going to be thrown for about a 3-yard loss. Jeff McCaffrey, great play for the Hawklets from the secondary.
Nobody on Rockhurst is fooled by the fake reverse. And again, this defense is humming. They've been put in some adverse situations so far this game, and they've responded every time. And you can see, great job of taking on the force right there. That's how you come up and take on a running back, and then he makes the play. That's a great job by Jeff McCaffrey.
The eyes of Kevin Kane, the leading tackler for the Hawklets. They compare him to Sean Doyle, who just a few years ago played here. Now starting for Gary Pinkel and the Missouri Tigers on 2nd down and long. Gunning the middle. And Matt Jones has it. Matt Jones going to take it to the house. Touchdown, Blue Springs.
That's the big play they were looking for. They said they wanted to come out early and make a big play on offense. They made a big play, 2 big plays in special teams, they get the ball back on offense, and that's the big play they're looking for.
56 yards in the touchdown pass here.
See a great job of play action that holds those linebackers, and Matt Jones just runs a post, and you can see Noah Strozier misplays the football. When you know that there's no one deep, you've got to make sure that if you go under, you've got to get the football. If not, you got to play the man and make the tackle.
Danny Watkins with the extra point. It's good. 10-0. Blue Springs on top. Matt Jones was a question mark here, JC. They said he had a quad pull. They said he'll punt. Probably won't play too much wide out, but he catches the first touchdown of the ball game.
That's right. Great protection on the play action fake. And you can see he just runs by everybody. Strozier does a bad job of playing the football. He comes under, and then there's nobody left out there. A huge play for Blue Springs. And that man right there, Matt Jones, comes up with a big touchdown.
Third touchdown of the season for Matt Jones. 19th touchdown pass for Justin Whitworth. And Blue Springs, as they did in the first meeting, has jumped out on top of Rockhurst early.
And you can see both of these teams came out extremely fired up. And when you're able to make some big plays like Blue Springs has so far today, that intensity level just goes up. You see those guys are happy. They're over there. They're fired up. And they still, I mean, guys are just bouncing around on that sideline ready to get back in the game.
Tony Temple is now on the field, and he will return this kick. So the disciplinary action against Tony Temple has ended 10 points in.
That's exactly right. You've got to get your big play guys on the field right now. You can't afford to get too far down.
Short kick. It's going to go into a dead zone there, fielded by an up man. This is Colin Charbonneau. And nice coverage there by, looked like Josh Barge went down there and made the stop. Or correction, Matt Webb with the stop for the Wildcats. Check out the high school roundup. Friday nights at 9:30, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., or Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Join Chad Harberts, Brad Porter, Angie Samuelson, Lacey Willard, and Mick Schaefer for the high school roundup here on Metro Sports. New quarterback in is Johnny Sweeney. He usually comes in on Rockhurst's third series, more of the passer of the two. He's left-handed as well. Also, we see the aforementioned Tony Temple now in the backfield. Play action fake. Sweeney to throw on his first time out. Looking deep for Pummel, and he can't run it down. Incomplete.
And we're going to get a flag, too, roughing the passer.
Late hit on Johnny Sweeney as we check in with Kent Henry.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Big roughing the passer penalty by Blue Springs, but a good job of Rockhurst trying to loosen this defense up. They bring in Sweeney. They immediately go to the downfield pass, and what that's going to do, now Blue Springs has to be conscious of them going downfield so they can't stack those 8 guys and just think run. You can see Sweeney, he's got a good arm on him. He just throws it out there, and look how late that hit is. You're going to get called on that every time.
Joe Bach, the defensive end for Blue Springs, is about 5 seconds late there.
And I'm sure he's going to hear about that because that's big 15-yard penalty, which really brings Rockhurst out of the hole. Now they're on their own 39-yard line. They've got a lot of room to work with now.
Goes from the 24 to, as JC mentioned, the 39. It'll be a 1st and 10. Marlon Butler, Tony Temple, a line and an I formation. This is Temple. Temple going nowhere. The linebackers all over him. Jake McMullen there throwing him down, and they might get another late hit here. A little over exuberance. As Tony Temple going nowhere on that play.
Hey, that's football right there, and that's the way you want to see guys play. That's intensity, emotion. This is a big game. As you said earlier, Kevin, big-time players have to step up. And for Blue Springs, they're all stepping up right now. You see Temple, I mean, there's just nowhere to run right now. These purple jerseys are all over the place. You can see all the guys at the line of scrimmage, and then they establish a new line of scrimmage in Rockhurst's backfield. And right now, they're winning that battle in the trenches. Joe Bach does a great job getting upfield and getting after Temple.
Big Jake McMullen there on the defensive line. It'll be 2nd down and 11 now for the Hawklets. Back to their own 38. Running play to the right side for short yardage. As running the football that time was Nick Johnson for the Hawklets. And it's going to be 3rd down and long.
This is the scenario that Rockhurst doesn't want to be in 3rd and long. But look at the linebackers. Those guys are aggressive. They're stepping up right in the holes. And there's nowhere for those guys to run right now. There are too many defenders for blockers. And right now, Blue Springs, they're just playing a little quicker. They've still got that intensity working along with that emotion.
It's going to be 3rd down and 9 now for the Hawklets. Sweeney on the roll, gunning the near side and wide of the mark, looking for Kyle Tehan. Josh Barge and Troy Pike with the coverage. 4th down and 9 for the Hawklets, trailing 10-0 here. Under a minute to play in your first quarter.
Man, I tell you, Blue Springs is bringing the heat. Watch Witherspoon right here. Look at him just run over the running back, and the pressure's coming. But Sweeney's got to know that he's got time to set his feet. If he can set his feet, that's a complete pass for a 1st down. You just can't get too excited and too hurried by that pressure.
Punting time on 4th and 9. Jeff Snodgrass to punt it away. Cooper and Barge deep. This will be Curtis Cooper backpedaling to the 18. And Johnny Sweeney coming down, making the special team stop after a 4-yard return. The guy does it all, JC.
Hey, the more you can do, the more you'll be on the football field. He just got through throwing a pass, and he was probably a little upset that he didn't complete it. So what does he do? He goes down on the punt team and blows up the return man.
So the Wildcats will get it back. 21.9 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the Wildcats taking advantage of some Rockhurst mistakes and some good field position here. It's 10-0. 38-yard field goal by Danny Watkins, and a 56-yard touchdown pass from that young man, Justin Whitworth, to Matt Jones. You're scoring in the ball game. There was a penalty on the play. Legal block on Blue Springs will have them backed up. This will be their worst field position start of the night. Let's take a look here. Somebody got a bad block in here. There, right there.
Right up there, right there. Also, there are a couple possibilities right there, but they got caught for one of them, a big 15-yard penalty.
1st and 10. Give it to the fullback, Joey Vaughn. Nothing doing. The Hawklets all over him as Dan Boyd, number 78 there. Big Dan there, threw him for a no gain.
Big Dan just stepping up in the hole. And this Rockhurst defense, they're very disciplined. They play very tough, but everybody has their assignment. And you can see nobody's fake. Nobody's lost here by the counterplay. Everybody knows exactly where they're supposed to be, and they're right there.
1 quarter in the books from PV Stadium in Blue Springs, and the Wildcats have jumped on the Hawklets early. 10-0. Blue Springs back with second quarter action on your Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week. Blue Springs leading Rockhurst 10-0 here in Missouri 5A state quarterfinal action. The winner to take on Springfield Kickapoo or the Jeff City Jays Saturday. Site yet to be determined. Tony Severino's team down by 10 here, JC. They've played a little sloppy here in the first quarter.
First quarter, all big plays for Blue Springs. A blocked punt, a fumble on the punt return, and also a big touchdown pass.
2nd down and long. Whitworth swinging it out to Tuggle, and it's incomplete. Dangerously close to being a backward pass there as Rockhurst quickly jumped on it, but the official said it was a forward pass and incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 9 here.
Tell you what, these defenses are getting after it, both of them. As I said earlier, probably the 2 best defenses in the entire area, and you can see why. These guys, they just pursue to the ball so quickly. It's tough to get anything on them, either on the ground or through the pass. You've got to try to really be very balanced against either one of these defenses to make a play.
3rd down and 9. Ball at the 12. Keep it conservative. Tuggle up the middle. Tuggle still fighting close to the 1st down as he gets up near the 22-yard line. It'll depend on the spot here.
It's going to be close. Good, strong running by Tuggle. But this is how you have to attack a defense. It looks like we got another penalty. Yeah.
Dead ball. Personal foul.
Ouch. That's a first down now.
And you can hear him saying,
back here.
white 30.
Kevin Sears, they called it on, the linebacker for Rockhurst.
You can see him right there at the bottom of the pile. Really don't see a whole lot right there. But they got him for a big personal fouling, and that's tough. Rockhurst, with the things that have gone on in the first quarter, they're really shooting themselves in the foot right now. You can't afford to have these kind of mental breakdowns in a big game like this. They're going to come back and haunt you. You can't do that against good quality football teams.
And I couldn't see anything on Kevin Sears there, but Matt Weglars was there as well. So it is a 15-yard walk-off, 1st and 10 now. Ball at the 37, so Blue Springs out of a huge hole, going from 3rd and 9 now to 1st and 10. The toss sweep to Tuggle, and he's blown up. Jeff McCaffrey coming up from the secondary again and filling nicely.
Tell you, Rockhurst doesn't want to give up anything on the ground. Watch how they're all coming forward, and they're establishing a new line of scrimmage also. And you can see they are laying some wood out there. And of course, there's that guy right there, the inside backer, Kevin Kane. He's going to be all over the football field, and whenever somebody's got the ball, you better believe number 60 is going to be after him.
16 tackles last week in the win over Oak Park. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 now. Barge in motion as they run the option look. Whitworth pitching it off to Tuggle, in trouble. And going to lose yardage as the Hawklets all over that play. Once again, number 30 there, Kevin Sears. But boy, those linebackers pursue just awesomely.
I mean, this entire defense just runs so fast, and the pursuit is there. Normally on an option, you'll have somebody open, but watch Kane right here. He comes up and forces the pitch right there on Wentworth, and then he makes a tackler miss, but the pursuit is right there, and there's nowhere for him to go.
It's a loss of 2 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 11 now. Last time these two teams met, Kevin Kane had 11 total tackles against Blue Springs in the 21-7 loss. 3rd down and 11 now. Vaughn in motion. Whitworth, 5-step drop, gunning deep down the sidelines, going to be intercepted by the Hawklets. Johnny Sweeney does it all. Quarterback, special teams, and now secondary work.
Great job of just playing center field and reading the quarterback. See, Whitworth wishes he had that ball back, but that man right there has been coming up big for Rockhurst all night long. You can see, watch Whitworth, the quarterback. He's looking the entire way, and he just throws that ball up. And Sweeney's just playing center field, and he just runs under it. Great job of just reading the quarterback's eyes and going to the football.
Chris Cummings back in at quarterback for the Hawklets, trailing 10-0 here. 10:03 to play in the 2nd quarter. Cummings on the draw play. Temple breaks one, breaks another, and gets out near the 35-yard line and a pickup of about 4 on the play.
That's what they're going to have. They're going to have this guy make some people miss and try to turn a short gain into a big play for him.
Jeff Troy continues to do a nice job of coming up with the run support from the secondary. Second down and 6 now. Cummings firing over the middle, in and out of the receiver's hands there as Jeff Snodgrass couldn't reel that one in. It's going to be 3rd down and 6 as we check in with Lacey.
Kevin, I am on the Blue Springs side here with Mrs. Donahoe, Coach Donahoe's mother. How are you this evening?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
And your grandson, what's your name?
Chase.
Chase? Tell me a little bit about how proud you must be. Your son was very successful in high school and college, and now he's coaching one of the best teams in Missouri.
Yes, it's been exciting watching his career. It's exciting being here tonight.
All right, well, take care.
Thank you.
Kevin, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Lacey. Looks like Chase is ready to get out there and play some football. He was trying to get away from Grandma there.
On a night like this, it's not hard. I'm sure everybody in the stands wants to get on the field.
Ball. False start on the offense.
Penalties really starting to hurt Rockhurst.
They are. They've had a lot of mistakes in this first half in special teams and penalties, and some very untimely penalties at that. Just pushing themselves back and really not giving themselves an opportunity to be successful so far.
This is one of the things Tony Severino talked to me during the week about. He said, we can't be getting these third down penalties where it goes from like 3rd and 5 to back to 3rd and 10. Get stuck in 3rd and long a lot, you're going to have a tough night. It's going to be 3rd and 11 after the walk-off. Temple going in motion. Cummings setting up, gunning deep, and the pass tipped away, nearly intercepted. Jeff Troy got his hands on it, and Troy Pike nearly dove under it as it was intended for Adam Pummel of Rockhurst. It'll be 4th down and 11.
Good job of defense by Blue Springs. You can see just at the end, everybody's playing the football. Jeff Troy doing what a free safety is supposed to do. Stay deep and play the football. Almost comes up with a big interception for Blue Springs, but Rockhurst, they're trying to move that pocket now to buy some time for Cummings. He's just got to settle down, set his feet, and try to complete some of those throws.
4th and 11, Snodgrass in to punt. Cooper and Barge deep. Good punt away this time. Barge backpedaling inside the 25 near the 22. Barge spinning off tackles. Barge into space. Look out! Josh Barge across the 40. Hurdling tackler still on his feet. Caught at the 18 by Nick Johnson. What a return, Josh Barge. Now there is flags, JC, we got to deal with here.
It's going to come back. It's going to be a block in the back on Blue Springs, but what a tremendous effort by Barge.
Clip on the offense.
Great effort. Check the right side of the screen. You're going to see the block in the back, the clip right there. You can see when you're taught, whenever you can't get your head in front of the guy to lay off of him. Josh Barge probably would have made him miss anyway. Instead, they're going to get called for clipping and bring this tremendous run all the way back.
So wave off the 60-yard punt return by Josh Barge.
We have a clip on the return team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
But I tell you, Kevin, even though that got called back, it's going to play on the psyche of Rockhurst. They've been giving up big plays. They've been having penalties, pushing themselves back, and now they give up a big punt return. Even though it gets called back, they still know, man, we're giving up too many big plays, and we'll see if they're going to be able to come back and recuperate and get back into it mentally. And you can see right there, there's kind of that dazed, shocked look on the Rockhurst Hawklets right now.
So back to the 20, 1st and 10 now. Blue Springs in their own territory. Vaughn and Tuggle in an eye. This will be Tuggle with running room. Tuggle with a 1st down and more. Andrew Tuggle up to the 43-yard line and a pickup of 23 on 1st down. Who said that guy has a bad shoulder?
Obviously not. In a game like this, all those little bumps and bruises, you don't feel them, but tremendous blocking by this offensive line. This is just straight ahead power football. They hit it quick, and whenever you have a defense that flows as quickly as Rockhurst does, you want to hit them quickly inside. That time they were able to spring him right through the middle for a great run. You can see the first meeting against Rockhurst this season. Tuggle had a big game, 141 yards rushing.
They go with Tuggle again on the toss sweep, turns the corner, and his arm tackled down after a gain of about 3. Matt Weglars with the stop for the Hawklets.
But you see what it does, Kevin. Now it loosens up that defense a little bit. They've got to focus inside because they just got hit for a big play inside. Now they have an opportunity to get around the corner. Earlier in the ball game, they couldn't do that because Rockhurst was flowing so quickly to the outside. 10-0,
Blue Springs on top. Danny Watkins, a field goal of 38 yards and a 56-yard touchdown pass to Matt Jones. You're scoring in the ball game. Second down. Let's call it 6. Whitworth under pressure, going to be sacked. Marlon Butler with the sack back to the 41-yard line, and a big-time loss there of 7 yards.
Marlon Butler, great job of pursuit. They're trying to roll Whitworth out just to buy him some time, but he's got to say, hey, if there's nobody there, I've got to throw it away right there. You don't have time to pull it down and look for someone else, not against a defense like Rockhurst. And Marlon Butler, he comes up with the big sack.
Marlon goes 232. He benches 330, squats over 400. It'll be third down and 13 yards to go now. Whitworth finding the near side, juggling. Barge with the catch, close to the first down, but looks like he's a little short, about a yard short, as he's pushed out of bounds. It's going to be fourth down here.
I tell you, both these teams, they're trying to buy their quarterback some time by rolling out, and you can see rolling to the left. He's got to throw the ball all the way across his body and does a good job getting it to Barge. If Barge catches it the first time, he may be able to turn it up and get that first down. Instead, he's about a yard and a half short.
Colin Charbonneau with the secondary coverage. It's going to be fourth down and short here, and Whitworth and the Wildcats leading 10-0 will go for it here. Fourth and a long yard. Tried to get Rockhurst to jump. Now we'll take the timeout at the 5:50 mark to go in the second quarter, leading 10-0.
And it almost worked, too. They almost got Marlon Butler jumping off sides.
I want to thank the fine folks at Rental Service Corporation for the help with tonight's broadcast. You can call them toll-free, 1-800-RENT-RSC, for all your rental needs. Coach Kelly Donahoe calls this season a dream season, since we've had a bullseye on our back ever since we've beaten Rockhurst, and our team has hung in there, #1 in the Metro Sports Super 25. They're the city champions. They're the suburban Big 8 champions. They're the sectional champions, District 13 champions. Now they want to be state champions.
Better have a big trophy case for all those championship trophies. And there was no way they were going to go for that fourth and a yard and a half, not being up 10-0 and risking not making it and giving Rockhurst great field position.
Matt Jones to punt it away here for Blue Springs. Charbonneau and Pummel deep back. Pummel takes it at the 9 and goes down right there.
And that's exactly why they wouldn't go for it on 4th and 1.5 and risk not making it and giving Rockhurst the ball near midfield. Instead, they come on and they punt, and now they pin Rockhurst back inside their own 10-yard line. I tell you, offensively for Rockhurst, they've just got to try to find a way to make something happen. They haven't been able to run the ball, haven't been able to throw the ball. They've just got to settle down, try to make a play. They wanted to come out and make a big play early also, but instead they've been giving them up. So they've got to make one to get back in this ball game.
Temple and Butler in the backfield. Snodgrass and Pummel wide to the near side. Tony Temple juggling the football, then picks it up, tries to get to the outside. There's Wildcats all over him. Boy, a very fortuitous bounce back to Tony Temple as he's able to get a yard on the play. And Tony looks very frustrated right now.
This entire team has to be in shock right now. And they're saying, what's going on? You can see right here, it's just a play and a handoff that they've probably made 50 times this season. And they are very lucky. Look at that bounce. It just happens to bounce right back up to Tony Temple. If not, Blue Springs gets that ball deep in Rockhurst territory. And I'll tell you right now, Rockhurst has to settle down and get back to playing their brand of football.
Tony fumbled near the goal line in the first meeting. Second down and long. Quick pass to the outside, taken in by Snodgrass. Can't get away from Chris Miller. Nice open field stop there near the 15-yard line.
Those are the kind of plays that Rockhurst has to run. Run those quick three-step routes. The outs and the slants, they run the out. But I'll tell you, great job by Chris Miller. Open field tackle. That's what they want you to do. We're going to give you the 3-step drop. You can catch those 3-4-yard passes. If we come up and make the tackle, that's what we're looking for.
Big play here for the Rock. 3rd down and 4. Rockers 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. Sweeney rolling, gunning deep, and laying out is Adam Pummel. It's incomplete.
That was almost the big play they were looking for. They come back and they run the out and up. They saw Chris Miller sitting on that quick out the last play. So they come back and they run it again to the other side. And they almost get him. You see they pump it. Chris Miller bites on it and then they turn it up. Adam Pummel turns it up and almost comes up with the big play. He's got to throw that ball up in the air. Put some more air under it. Allow Pummel to just run under it.
Jeff Snodgrass gonna punt it away near his goal line. Barge and Cooper and twin safeties await the punt here. Off the side of his foot. That's a nice Hawklet bounce. Goes out near the 41-yard line. So 4:04 to go in your second quarter, and Blue Springs gets it with good field position, leading 10-0. Coming up, Hy-Vee at the half. Gives you a first down breakdown with J.C. Pearson. Get your scores and highlights and numbers. It's Hy-Vee at the half coming up in just over 4 minutes. Well, Kelly Donahoe's got to be happy with the start of his ball club in this ball game, J.C.
Oh, no question about it. They wanted to come out and get some big plays early, and that's exactly what they did.
Tuggle the lone setback on 1st and 10. Toss it to Tuggle, cuts it back, running into Marlon Butler. Nothing doing there. Big Marlon's had a good ball game.
He sure has. And this play is actually designed to go inside. They toss it to give the defense the appearance of an outside play, but the intention is to bring it right downhill. You can see the defense. Watch that man right there, number 33, doing a great job on the ground, gets back up and just explodes into the running back. Marlon Butler, so far, is big play guy for the defense of Rockhurst.
Play action on 2nd down and 9. Whitworth setting up, firing, looking for Barge, incomplete. Nice coverage there by Noah Strozier, number 6 for Rockers. Well, that's a great matchup. Strozier against Barge.
That is a great matchup, and you can see it ISO'd right here. You can see Barge. He runs inside and then comes back on the corner route. He sits down. He's got to come back to the football, stay alive. Instead, he sits down and allows Strozier to make a play on the football. He's got to come back towards his quarterback to the ball, and that ball is probably complete.
3rd down and 9 now for the Wildcats. Whitworth on a comebacker. Tuggle's got it, and he's got the first down as he slips down to the 37-yard line. 21 yards in the pass play, and the Wildcats have a 1st and 10.
That's a good play call, and these are the type of plays that are going to work against a defense that is so aggressive like Rockhurst. You can see they're going to play action to Tuggle, and then he just leaks out the backside, and when they throw it back to him, there's nobody there. The linebacker saw play action. He went after the quarterback and left Tuggle all alone in the flat.
Officially spot the football at the 36. Whitworth with a 56-yard touchdown pass tonight to Matt Jones. Tuggle up the middle, nothing doing. Kevin Sears right there to blow it up, number 30 for Rockers.
These linebackers for Rockhurst are aggressive and impressive. These guys at the snap of the ball, when they read run, there is no hesitation in those guys. They are coming forward, jumping in those gaps, and getting after those running backs.
Kevin Sears, Jeff Angold, and Kevin Kane make up the linebacking core for the Hawklets. And got 2 of the better linebacking cores in the Kansas City area playing on this field tonight in the Wildcats and the Hawklets. 2nd down and 10 now. Play action, Whitworth under duress. Eric Bossman chasing him, he gets away, down the sidelines, and bumped out by Kevin Kane at near the 26-yard line. he's going to be close to a first down. Good improv job by the quarterback, Justin Whitworth.
You talk about making a play. Watch it. It looks like he's under all kinds of pressure. Vossman has him right there by the jersey, and he just shakes him off. Vossman is 6'5", 225, and Whitworth just shakes him off and turns it upfield. And I mean, just a big, tremendous play by Whitworth and a big first down.
Who does he think he is? Donovan McNabb out there with that little shake?
Like you said, big-time players step up in big-time games, and there's not going to be very many games bigger than this one.
1st and 10 now. Ball position at the 25 in Rockhurst territory. Wildcats leading by 10, trying to get more. Toss it to Tuggle, cuts it back. Tuggle was taken down after a short gain. He's grabbing his legs, Jeff Angold for the Hawklets. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. That's again that looks like a toss sweep, but they cut it back to the middle.
They want the defense to think wide, and their intent is to bring it right back downhill, right through the middle, and hopefully you can get those linebackers to over pursue, and you can hit them on the backside.
2nd down and 7. Vaughn in motion. Tuggle now hands it off to Barge on the end around. Barge trying to cut it back, makes some guys miss, and runs into all kinds of Hawklets at the 20. Kevin Kane there. And Barge got hit in the groin area, he's saying, after the play. He got a little frustrated after the play, and he saw Kelly Dono try to calm him down. He said, "Hey, coach, they hit me below the belt there."
And you see we have him ISO'd on the reverse, and you can see Whitworth out there trying to get a block also, but this fast Rockhurst defense, they just pursue so quickly, and you can see they don't give up. They're very fast, tough, and aggressive, and that's the type of ball game that we're going to have all night tonight. That's why these two teams are here.
Timeout on the field, under a minute to go here in the first half. Big ball game coming up Saturday. You can see it at 9 p.m. on Metro Sports. Olathe North trying to win their 5th state title in the last 6 years as they take on the Indians of Manhattan, the Emporia. So Olathe North Manhattan from Welshfield in Emporia. You can watch it Saturday night, 9 p.m. here on Metro Sports. Boy, a seat is hard to come by tonight. Full house here, gorgeous night in Blue Springs, temperature in the 50s, and who would have thought middle of November, mid-50s, seeing shorts out here, as this is 5A state quarterfinal action, and thus far the Wildcats have looked impressive. The #1 team leading 10-0 here, under a minute to play here before halftime. Third down and 4 after the timeout now for the Wildcats as Tuggle goes in motion. Whitworth throwing. Tuggle with the catch close to the first down as he slammed to the turf by Noah Strozier. Just a little pass to the back, out of the backfield, leaking out of the backfield there, and we'll have to wait and see on the spot. It is a first down for the Wildcats.
They're just running a zone buster right here. You can see the ref runs right up there to the spot of the catch, not where he drove him back to, enough for a first down.
And the pass going to be intercepted. Taken away by a linebacker there as Kevin Kane with the pick, and the Hawklets come up with a big defensive play just before halftime.
Oh, that's big for Rockhurst. They prevent Blue Springs from getting any more points on the board, and Kevin Kane, the guy, their leading tackler, the kind of the heart and soul of this defense, he comes up with the big play for him. You'll see him right in the middle. He just follows Whitworth's eyes and just runs right in the passing lane. Whitworth hits him right in the chest. Big play for Rockhurst defensively.
So the Wildcats denied. Rockhurst gets it back, 36.9 seconds to go here in your second quarter, trailing 10-0. Temple up the middle for short yardage, and he's flung down. Joe Bach with the stop as the clock stopped at 27.2 seconds to go here in your first half. And Tony Temple, once again, didn't start playing until the later stages of the first quarter of this ball game due to disciplinary reasons, missing practice. So he really hasn't seemed to got into this ball game or got into the flow of this ball game as of yet.
Well, not only him, but this entire Rockhurst offense has not gotten into the flow of this ball game yet. But you got to really credit Coach Severino for having taking enough of a stance to sit his star player down in a game such as this. And you know, that says a lot about him, that he really instills discipline in his players, and if they don't abide by the rules, then you've got to sit.
4 state titles at Rockhurst. He was the USA Today's National High School Coach of the Year in 2000. All-time winningest coach in school history. He's also won a state title on the Kansas side at Shawnee Mission Northwest. Second down and 5 now for the Hawklets after the timeout. Toss sweep to Temple, and he's in space. Tony Temple down the sidelines, across the 40, and he'll be spotted near the 44-yard line. Clock at now 19.2 seconds to go.
And you see that guy's got a burst right there. They just run the toss left, and look at the speed of Tony Temple. He turns the corner and just explodes around the end. That's what they've got to have in with this offense. He brings an entirely different dimension to this team with his speed and quickness. They've got to get him the ball a lot more the second half. He's got big play ability, and they need it out of him.
Only the second first down of the first half for the Hawklets. Nice run there by Tony Temple. 1st and 10 from the 44 now.
For Rockhurst, they just need to finish the first half on a positive note. Get some confidence going in at halftime, make the necessary adjustments, and then come out ready to play the second half. And for Blue Springs, of course, right now, they don't want to give up a big play. If they can go in at the half up 10-0, the momentum is still with them, they'll be extremely happy.
Kevin Kane with the big defensive play, setting up this drive. Play action, Cummings firing the middle. Pass is caught by Tehan, goes backwards and is tackled at the 50-yard line by Jeff Troy. And the clock stopped at 10.7 seconds, and Rockhurst takes its final timeout of the first half.
As long as they have time to throw the ball, there's going to be some holes in this zone. You can see he's just going to sit down right there, run a 10-yard hitch, and there's a lot of room to work in this zone coverage of Blue Springs. He's got to take that ball straight upfield, though, and not come back so far and then start running across the field. As soon as you catch it, you got to turn straight up the football field and get as much as you can.
Keep in mind, Rockhurst was down 14-0 in the first meeting. But Rockhurst doesn't play from behind very often.
There's only 10 seconds left in the half. You've got to take a couple shots, and they actually have enough time to run a deep comeback, get out of bounds, and possibly get in the field goal range.
Jeff Snodgrass is a very good field goal kicker. Second down and 2 now for the Hawklets. Officially spotted at the 48 here. Cut back on the run. Tony Temple still churning those legs. Bounced out of play by Barge. And the play took about 8 seconds. Didn't gain much, and now there's 2.3 seconds to go in your first half.
Right, and I don't understand that call. I think you've got to be very aggressive if you're Rockhurst right now and try to make a big play. You've got to throw the ball down there, take advantage of every second left on the clock. If you're Blue Springs, of course, you want them to run the ball. Go ahead and run it. We're going to come up, make the tackle, and run the clock out and end the half.
Kyle Tehan going to take the play in. Tony Severino here. 2.3 seconds to go in your second quarter. Rockhurst down 10-0 here in the Missouri 5A state quarterfinals. The winner to play Springfield Kickapoo or the Jeff City Jays on Saturday. Cummings on the roll. Cummings gunning deep for Pummel, and he makes the catch at the 8, but the clock has expired and the first half is over. So it's 10-0 at halftime. Rockhurst mounting a good drive, but the clock runs out on them, and they get no points here in the first half. So Kelly Donahoe and the Wildcats take a 10-0 lead to halftime here in state quarterfinal action in Missouri 5A football. Hy-Vee at the half is coming up next. Blue Springs. The defense has been tough. They've got the big plays, and they lead Rockhurst 10-0 at the break. Number 1 and undefeated Blue Springs leading number 3 Rockhurst at halftime at 10-0 here at the PV Stadium in Blue Springs in state quarterfinal action. And JC, Rockhurst a little sloppy early. Blue Springs able to capitalize. They got the field goal, and then they got the big pass play from Whitworth to Jones.
Exactly. Blue Springs came out. They were looking for big plays early, and they were able to get them. Of course, they come up with the block punt early in the first quarter, and then they get the muffed punt by Rockhurst, recover that fumble, but then they come back with the long touchdown pass to go up 10-0. And Rockhurst defensively, they've played very well for the most part that first half. They got put in a lot of bad situations, and they really started to play well. Offensively, they just couldn't get rolling, though. They just cannot get in sync with the running game. Of course, we talked about Temple not starting the game, Tony Temple that is, and coming in late in that first quarter. Started to run a little bit at the end of the first half, and we'll see if they do some things to get him untracked in the second half.
Temple only 6 carries for 37 yards, but Kevin Kane with a big interception right before halftime that thwarted a Blue Springs drive that could have put this ball game in a nice cruise zone for Blue Springs. 10-0 your halftime score. Big crowd here at PV Stadium in Blue Springs. More of Hy-Vee at the half from Blue Springs after this timeout. You're watching Metro Sports. Blue Springs leading 10-0 over Rockhurst at halftime as we check our Hy-Vee first half statistics.
As you can see, statistically, Blue Springs 165 total yards, really came out and dominated the line of scrimmage early, and the big pass play for Blue Springs for a touchdown is really the difference in the game. 2 turnovers, but the problem is Rockhurst could not take advantage of those turnovers. One of them stopped the scoring opportunity for Blue Springs.
The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. So the next time you attend a high school football game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This message brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and Metro Sports. The Golden Regiment Band on the field from Blue Springs High School. 10-0 Blue Springs at halftime here on the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week. Blue Springs leading at halftime as it's time now to check our Hy-Vee first half highlights.
Rockhurst, they gave up some big plays early in the ball game, but defensively they came up with some big plays also. You see Whitworth throwing the ball downfield, and Johnny Sweeney comes up with a big interception. And then right before the half, looks like Blue Springs is going to score, but no, Kevin Kane steps right in front of the ball for a big interception, and then run defense. Marlon Butler does a good job of just pursuing Whitworth and coming down the line of scrimmage for a big sack. Also showed up big in run defense. For Blue Springs, they had some big plays also. You see Jeff Troy with the block punt early in the first quarter that led to some points. And then in the run game, Big Joe Bach and Jake McMullen stepping up big, holding Rockhurst to no yards and creating piles and turnovers themselves. You can see the big play right here also. Curtis Cooper catches the little screen and takes it around the corner for a big gain in Blue Springs. But here's the play right here. Matt Jones, big touchdown early in the first quarter, really set the tone. That was the big play that Blue Springs was looking for early. They got it early, really set the tone, went out 10-0 and was able to hold on to that lead the rest of the first half.
Hey, get your tickets today for the 2001 Guardians Classic. It's coming up the 20th and 21st of this month at the Kemp Arena. 2 games on the 20th, 2 games on the 21st, featuring teams like Iowa, Memphis, Alabama, and the Missouri Tigers. For tickets, call 816-931-3330 or go to the website guardiansclassic.com. The 2001 NABC Guardians Classic coming to the Kemper Arena November 20th and 21st. LJC, what's going on in the Rockhurst locker room right now? What is Tony Severino saying to his Hawklets at halftime here?
Well, what they're saying is, hey, we gave them everything that they've got. We're still in this ball game. We know we can play with them. We've got to just eliminate giving up big plays, and then we've got to have some guys step up. We need somebody on our offense to step up, make some big plays for us, get us back in this ball game, and they can't continue to have the penalties, the mental errors that they've had the first half.
They seem to get their offense in sync on that final drive of the first half. They were moving the football, throwing it well, running it well.
And that's what Tony Temple brings to this offense, because he's so explosive. You have to focus your defense on him, and when you do that, it allows them to throw the ball downfield. So once Tony Temple got in the game, they started getting him moving a little bit. You saw this offense really start to come together. They were able to complete some passes down the field. So I'm looking for them to come out the second half and get Tony Temple established right off the bat. Make Blue Springs worry about him, and then they're going to be able to throw the ball.
Blue Springs leading Rockhurst at halftime 10-0 on our Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week. Blue Springs leading 10-0 at halftime here in Missouri 5A state quarterfinal action. The winner to take on either Springfield Kickapoo or Jeff City on Saturday. The site to be determined later as we check in with Lacey with Kelly Donahoe.
Thank you, Kevin. Coach, you're up at half. What do you tell your team? What are your intentions?
Well, we're a little disappointed because we really blew some opportunities in the first quarter with field position, and right there before half, we get the ball first, and basically we just told those seniors, if you want a trip to the semifinal game, we got 24 minutes to go dominate these guys, and we're ready to roll.
Can you update Teagle's condition real quick?
He's doing fine. He hasn't had any bad hits on it yet. It's still real tender.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thanks, Lacey. Kelly Donahoe's team up 10-0 here is getting ready to go with the third quarter in a packed house here at PV Stadium in Blue Springs. All kinds of blue and white, purple and gold. This place filled to the gills tonight.
One half of ball left, and the winner keeps playing, and the loser season comes to an end. So, these guys at halftime, I'm sure they went in and told their guys exactly that. Hey, we've got one half of football left. We go out and play and win. We keep playing. If not, we got to go home.
Wildcats won the toss. They deferred their option to the second half. So Blue Springs will be getting the football to start things in the third quarter. As you take a look at the last meeting, JC, and Blue Springs won 21-7 at Dasta Stadium. They're at 93rd and State Line, and it's a big difference in total yards in that ball game. Rockhurst had 3 turnovers as well.
And both of these teams have improved tremendously since that first meeting. And it's going to be interesting to see who makes the adjustments at halftime. Both offenses kind of started slowly, picked it up a little bit at the end of the first half. We'll see who made the adjustments at halftime to be able to come out and make some big plays. And I'm sure one of the adjustments is get that guy right there in the ball game and get him the ball.
Tony Temple only 37 first half yards. Now keep in mind he didn't play much of the first half as he was being disciplined for missing practice. Kevin Kane, a big first half, an interception, and so many tackles.
You get a feeling that whoever is able to make some big plays early in the second half really is probably going to be the team that wins. Even though Blue Springs is up by 10 points, that's really not a lot of points in a game like this, because Rockhurst, of course, one of the best teams in the entire city, as well as Blue Springs, but big plays can turn the game around quickly.
Kelly Donahoe trying to take the Wildcats to the state semifinals. A But they got to get through the 5A defending state champions.
There's a lot of football left to be played before you can start looking at next week.
Coach Severino said these are probably the two best teams in the state going at it. Unfortunately, one team can go to the state semifinals. And he asked Kelly Donahoe about this ball game. He says, with the Rockhurst Hawklets and the Blue Springs Wildcats, it's a war to the end, a physical four-quarter game.
That's exactly what we've had the first two quarters, and we can expect it to get even tougher, much more physical the second half because, hey, all the marbles are on the line right now, and both teams know it.
Sessler, Miller, and Cooper deep for the Snodgrass kick here. Start things in the third quarter. There is Chris Miller, and on the tee with it, Jeff Snodgrass. Rockhurst. Second half underway. Chris Miller from near the 5. Chris Miller turning the corner. Chris Miller down the sidelines. McCaffrey chases him out. But a great return to start the third quarter for the Wildcats. And now a flag pitched in late.
And I think that is also going to go against Rockhurst. And if it does, that is going to turn a bad situation even worse. That's exactly the way you don't want to start the second half for Rockhurst, but then for Blue Springs, give them a lot of credit. They come out of the locker room, and Chris Miller does a good job of using his speed on the kickoff, but that hurts right there. That's what we talked about. They had to eliminate those mental errors and those penalties, and you can see right at the end of the play, big run by Chris Miller. And at the end of the play right there, you can see just a little bit of pushing and shoving at the end. I think they're going to get number 46.
That's McCaffrey.
Jeff McCaffrey, I think they think that he rode him out of bounds, but actually the ball came back against Blue Springs.
Personal foul on the return team. First down.
So they did get the right guy because it looked like Miller was the instigator there.
They got Miller.
They pointed the way of Rockhurst initially, but they've corrected that. So the 42-yard return is negated as Miller got in the face of McCaffrey after the play and got hit with a 15-yard personal foul penalty. So the ball back to the 26, first and 10. Andrew Tuggle, the lone setback. Whitworth on the roll, firing, and it's incomplete. As they were looking for Josh Barge, and it came up short. Noah Strozier with the coverage.
And it's tough to come out at out of the halftime and throw the ball the first play. He's got to come out and get warmed up. As you see Barge, he just is going to run down the field and run the out route. And Whitworth short arms it right here. You can see he's open and there's a lot of room, but Whitworth short armed the ball. He's got to come out and get himself warmed up so that he can make those throws, because when you've got an opportunity to make a play in this game, you've got to take advantage of it.
Second down and 10 now. Wildcats scrimmaging at their own 26. Tuggle off the left side in trouble and thrown for a loss back to the 25. Coming in was Matt Weglars.
Rockhurst still playing very tough against the run. You can see Weglars right there. Great job along with Kane, not allowing any running room inside for Tuggle. And third and long are situations that neither one of these teams want to be in, because that means you have to throw the ball downfield and risk getting a big interception.
Rockhurst goes to a 3-4 look and a nickel back set on third down and long. Whitworth the pump. Now gunning deep for Barge down the sidelines. He was open, but he sailed it long, incomplete.
And he was open.
Let's go.
Whitworth has got to make these throws. This was the same play. Instead, he runs the out, and watch him turn it up right there and runs right by Strozier, and he's wide open. Whitworth has got to set his feet. They're rolling him out to buy him some time to throw the ball, and he's got plenty of time. He's got to stop, set his feet, and throw a good ball instead of trying to keep throwing on the run off his back foot.
Whitworth frustrated on the side now. It's 4th down and 11 here. Matt Jones to punt it away. Pummel and Charbonneau deep. This will be Pummel from the 37. Out to the 42 and a return of 5 yards. So Rockhurst will get it in good field position, trailing 10-0 here. 10:49 to go in the 3rd quarter.
The first drive of a half is what's known as a tempo setter. So we're going to see what Rockhurst talked about at halftime, what kind of adjustments they made, and how they're going to come out and try to attack this Blue Springs defense.
That man right there has won a lot of games and a lot of state titles. I'm very curious to see this drive. Cummings setting up, firing over the middle, and it's complete. And it's going to be a 1st down catch for the Hawklets as Jeff Snodgrass reels it in and a gain of 11.
And obviously they went in and said that they've got to start throwing the football. They just roll Cummings out right here trying to buy him some time, but you got to like the way that he steps up, makes a decision quickly, steps up and fires that football. As we said in the first half, there's going to be some room in between those zones of Blue Springs. They just have to give him enough time to find him.
Tony Temple and Nick Johnson in the backfield. Toss sweep to Temple. Temple hurdling tackles. Tony Temple, 1st down and more inside the 30, down near the 27-yard line.
And that's the big play they were looking for. And you can see those guys now have some confidence, some enthusiasm, and they're fired up. Tony Temple, a big play guy, and he does a great job. He shows a lot of patience. You can see him right here. Instead of just using his speed, he's following his fullback, trying to find a hole. He's got his head up, his eyes open, just hurdles a guy and comes up with a big run for Rockhurst.
19 yards, 1st and 10 for the Hawklets. Scrimmaging at the 27 in Blue Springs territory. Is this place loud or what? Temple now goes in motion. Cummings rolling, firing the near side, batted away, looking for Adam Pummel. Nice coverage by Barge.
Excellent drive on the football by Josh Barge. He's a wide receiver, so he knows all about running routes and defending routes. You're going to see to the right side of the screen, they just run the out route, and Josh Barge does a great job of getting that left hand on the ball and keeping his right hand off of the man. That's normally where you get hit for pass interference, but very heads-up play to keep that right arm off of the back of the receiver.
2nd down and 10 now. Johnson sets up in a slot situation, and they go on a quarterback sneak, and Cummings for about 3 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and long here. What's the mindset on that play? Just catch him off guard maybe and just get 5 or 6 on a play? Or?
That's what they want to do. They want to try to snap the ball quickly, catch Blue Springs off guard, thinking a toss play or an outside play, and just hit them quickly inside, because with this defense, they flow so quickly to the ball. Sometimes they flow a little too fast, and you're able to gash them in the middle.
Going to be 3rd down and 6. Temple caught in the backfield going down. Billy Byer with a big defensive play for the purple and gold of Blue Springs.
They're just not accounting for the outside linebacker right now in their run blocking. Billy Byers, he's unblocked. He lines up at the end of the line of scrimmage right there, and you can see nobody blocks him. You've got to account for that guy, especially on the front side of the play, or he's going to blow it up every single time.
It's 4th down and 7. Field goal attempt coming up here for Jeff Snodgrass. 41 yards out. It's no good. Just missed it. So it remains 10-0. Blue Springs, 8:33 to go in your 3rd quarter.
Had plenty leg on that one, just a little wide. can see he's upset. He knows how important this kick is, and you can see he's got plenty leg to make this kick, and it just sails just a little bit wide right there. That would have been a big 3 points for Rockhurst. Would have gotten them right back in this ball game.
So Wildcats get it now, 1st and 10 from their own 20, leading by 10. As they have a field goal of 38 yards. But Watkins, their kicker, has missed. He's 1 for 2. Snodgrass now 0 for 1. Toss sweep, cuts it back to Tuggle. Tuggle for 3 up to the 23-yard line before he's shut down there.
And they come back to what worked for him in the first half. They run that play that looks like a toss, but he really wants to bring it straight downhill, and it's more like a power O inside. They just want to get that defense to flow to the outside, thinking sweep, and hopefully they can cut it back behind those linebackers.
Second down at 7 now. Tuggle again to the 25 and then push back. The linebacking core there to greet him, led by Jeff Angold, number 31. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 now for Blue Springs as we play in the 3rd quarter.
And you know, there's not a lot of running room inside. I don't know why they don't try to spread this defense out. Bring in 3, sometimes 4 wide receivers. Make those linebackers have to walk out and play the slot, and then that's going to give you more running room inside.
Third down and 4 now. Whitworth play action under pressure. Getting away momentarily, then sacked. Hawklets with all kinds of pressure back there. Matt Weglars with the sack for the Hawklets.
With this aggressive defense, they don't have time to run the play action because Rockhurst is blitzing them. Watch from the left side of your screen. You're going to see number 31, Jeff Angold. He's just unblocked, and he brings the pressure right there on Whitworth, and he doesn't have time to set up. That's because the play took so long because of the play action fake. They've got to run some quick hitters because this defense is getting upfield so quickly.
4th down and 8. Jones to punt it away. Short punt taken by Adam Pummel, and he touched his knee down near the 48-yard line. So Rockhurst will have it in very good field position to start this drive here in the 3rd quarter as we check in with Lacey.
All right, Kevin, I found this guy that thinks he knows a little bit about high school football. Chad, what do you think about the game so far?
Well, you couldn't ask for a better game. You got a full house here at Blue Springs. You've got the 2 best teams in Missouri playing football, 10-0 game so far. I mean, I think this is how you're supposed to script it if you're going to put it on live television.
You're exactly right. Can you give us a preview of what's going to happen on Roundup Friday night?
Well, we'll have highlights of all 5 classes of football games. You got this one. You've got Park Hill and Center in 4A, Platte County Odessa in 3A, St. Pius Green Valley in 2A, which I understand is an upset right now, and West Platte versus Santa Fe in 1A. Then we'll also preview the 6A state championship game with Olathe North.
All right, well, thanks a lot. Enjoy the game. Kevin, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Lacey and Chad. You can see Chad and Brad Porter on the high school roundup. Friday nights, 9:30. They also have a special Wednesday edition at 9:30 as Coach Severino trying to diagram a rally here. Facing 2nd down and 9 as Tony Temple went for short yardage on 1st down. Temple and Johnson in the backfield. Cummings on the roll. Cummings now throwing back, looking for Temple. It's batted away. Billy Byer, sensational defensive play on the old wheel route.
And that was almost a big play. Give that man right there a lot of credit. He's running downfield with Tony Temple, a guy with a lot of speed. But you've got to throw that ball out there. You see Temple's just going to leak out the backside, and he's got to throw this ball. Get some air under it. He underthrows the ball and allows the linebacker to make a play. And you can see right up at the top, Temple just leaks out. It's a foot race. If he throws that ball out there, it's a touchdown.
3rd down and 9. Cummings got the happy feet, getting away. Cummings likes to run, now going to throw, but he stepped out of bounds. before he was able to throw the football. It's going to be 4th down.
We are seeing some good defensive play tonight by both sides. Both defenses very similar, very aggressive, very fast, and flows to the ball. You can see he just has nowhere. Look at the linebacker blitzing inside, and he's got to get rid of the ball because you don't have time against this defense to run around and set up and find someone downfield. He just has to run himself out of bounds because if not, he's just going to get hit right in the chops.
Jeff Snodgrass to punt it away here. Barge is deep back. Good punt away. Barge will let it hit. Trickles inside the 20. Now near the 15-yard line. 5:12 to play here in your third quarter, and the Wildcats will get it back. Coming up Saturday night, check out Olathe North and Manhattan for the 6A state title from Emporia. It'll be 9 p.m. Olathe North trying to go back-to-back and 5 of the last 6 state titles in 6A under Coach Gene Weir. And the Eagles are undefeated this year as they take on a 9-2 Manhattan Indians team. First and 10 from the 15 now for the Wildcats. Tuggle the lone setback, toss sweep to him. Nice block there. And Tuggle up to the 18-yard line. Become kind of a field position battle here between these two squads now, as the defenses are just rugged in this game tonight.
They are. In the first half, the battle of field position was won by Blue Springs. So far, the second half, Rockhurst is winning the battle of field position. They just haven't been able to take advantage of it as yet. For Blue Springs offensively, they've got to try to put some plays together, get a drive together, get out of their own, deep out of their own territory, and be able to open up their offense a little bit.
Second down and 6 now. Toss sweep to Tuggle. Good blocking up front. And he's up near a first down at the 25 before he's apprehended by Kevin Sears.
And you can see they set that play up. The play before this one, they did run the toss sweep outside. Now they want everybody thinking toss, and then they come right back up the middle behind those linebackers, and you can see there's a lot of room to run in there, but they set that play up by running the toss the play before and getting those guys thinking wide.
Good block by Scott Seago, the senior, also a 4-0 student. Number 76 cleared the way for Andrew Tuggle, has 56 yards rushing tonight. First and 10 Wildcats. Tuggle again cutting it back, but running into some resistance there. James Griffin, after a gain of 1, shut him down. Under 4 to play in your third quarter. The Wildcats leading 10-0 here.
And that's a good point. Talk about the time on the clock. People may be saying, well, why aren't they passing the ball? Well, they are winning 10-0. They want this clock to continue to run, so they're going to try to keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock moving, and try to get into the fourth quarter.
Second and long now is Curtis Cooper coming in motion. Fake the pitch, trying to set up a screen. Now firing, and it's taken away. Ian Pennington took it away from Kevin Kane and breaks free down the sidelines. What the heck's going on? He's bumped out of bounds. An ugly looking play, but the results, the Wildcats gotta love them.
Wow.
That was two guys battling in the air for the football. Pennington comes away with it and comes up with a huge play. There is a flag, however, to deal with, as we'll check in with Kent Henry. One moment you think Kane has the interception, then here goes Pennington with the football.
And then he gets around the corner, and then you think he might go all the way. And you see the referees kind of giggling about that play also. We'll see what the flag is.
40.
Oh. Joey Vaughn for a clip.
And see the play starts out kind of crazy. They want to set the screen up early, have nothing going. Whitworth does a good job of staying with it. Instead of going away from it, he comes back to it, almost throws a big interception to Kane right there, but Pennington just snatches it away from him, and then he goes down the sidelines. And you'll see the clip right there.
Joey Vaughn.
Number 40, Joey Vaughn, just coming in late and behind the defender to negate a big gain. But I tell you what, give Ian Pennington a lot of credit right there, because that could have easily been a big interception by Kane for Rockhurst. Instead, he continues to fight and battle for the ball and comes up with it. That right there could have been the play of the ball game.
He's the tight end. 1st and 10 now for the Wildcats at their own 36-yard line after the penalty. Whitworth rolling, firing, pass deflected, intercepted by the Hawklets. Kevin Sears has it. Kevin Sears with running room. Kevin Sears inside the 30, down near the 23-yard line.
They're going to bring this back. There's a flag down. I think they're going to call pass interference.
Let's see. There is Laundry on the field.
I think they're going to call Noah Strozier. Now, I don't know about this one, Kevin. That looked like a good play by Strozier.
Oh, my.
Wow. Back-to-back plays. Rockhurst almost comes up with huge plays, interceptions, but instead they get neither. And you can see they just run that rollout and the out route. Watch number 6, Noah Strozier. He breaks on the football right there. And he tries to come right around Mayfield. That's a good play right there. We get a better look at it right here. Strozier's got every right to this football also. He goes around with the right hand. He doesn't hook Mayfield at all.
Pass interference on the defense. 1st down.
But all the referee saw was contact by Strozier. That's a tough call to make right there. Strozier's doing everything he can to get around and get his hand on the football, which he does. Another tough break for Rockhurst, Kevin.
Spot the football to the 49, 1st and 10. Inside give to the fullback, Joey Vaughn, spinning, grinding, 1st down and more. Inside the 40 near the 37. Nice perseverance shown by Joey Vaughn, who doesn't get a lot of touches in the ball game. He's more of a blocking fullback.
And that's why no one expects him to get the ball. He gets it just on the counter and does a great job of keeping his feet moving. Power football, and looks like they're starting to gradually wear down the front of Rockhurst and start to get their running game going a little bit.
Under 3 to play in your 3rd quarter. Blue Springs driving, leading 10-0. Tuggle. And they push the pile back as he's down to the 31 and a pickup of about 6 on the play. So we check in with Lacey.
Reno, and you know your husband has been coaching for 18 years, successful career here at Rockhurst. Let me know how you're feeling about the game so far.
Oh, I'm really proud of him. Obviously, I wish the score was the opposite way, but it's exciting, and there's plenty of time yet, so I'm hopeful that we're going to come back.
That's right. Well, thanks a lot for talking to me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Kevin, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Lacey. 2nd down and 4 coming up here for Blue Springs.
You can see Coach Severino right there starting to get a little frustrated. He wants his defense to make a big play for him. They had an opportunity for 2 of them. One, they came up with the interception, but it got called back on the pass interference. They need somebody to step up in a big way.
Toss to Tuggle. Tuggle diving ahead close to the 1st down. Jeff Angold with the defensive stop.
But you can see Blue Springs gradually starting to get this running game going, gradually starting to impose their will on Rockhurst, and that's because this defense has been on the field too much. They've been on the field the majority of the 1st half and so far this 2nd half, you know, and they're bound to wear down at some point.
Well, keep in mind, on November 2nd against Blue Springs South, they had drives of 90 and 90 yards, or 99 yards, I should say. And these were like 11 and 15 play drives, so Blue Springs really likes to move the ball a long way and do it with a number of plays as Whitworth on the roll. On 1st down, finding Barge. Barge inside the 10, powering near the end zone. He stepped out inside the 5 near the 2.
Great play call by Blue Springs. We were talking about them getting the running game going. Now they come back with the boot. You can see everyone is fooled. They throw it to Barge, and right now, he just wants it more than the Rockhurst guys. Watch this effort by him. He's not running out of bounds at all. He's doing everything he can do to get across that pylon. And Rockhurst, they're just bumping him. Right now, Blue Springs wants this game more than Rockhurst.
Play goes 25 yards, first and goal now. Ball at the 2 for the Wildcats, leading 10-0. This will be the 8th play of the drive. Tuggle cutting back down to the 1-yard line where he's tackled there.
They're just controlling the line of scrimmage right now, Kevin. There's nothing fancy about what they're going to do here. Just continue to run it forward. Your offensive line getting great surge on the Rockhurst defensive line. You've got a yard to go, and it's second down. There's no reason to get fancy here. Just power football has been working for you. Stick with it.
Whitworth calls his own number. Touchdown, Wildcats. Justin Whitworth. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. It's 16-0 Blue Springs.
And they did exactly what they should have done. Just run it straight ahead, the quarterback keep, or the power dive right behind that offensive line, because now they are controlling the trenches. They are winning the war at the line of scrimmage.
Watkins extra point right down Main Street. It's 17-0 Blue Springs. Has a huge drive, a 9-play drive, nearly 5 minutes, and they get a touchdown with Justin Whitworth.
And watch the surge by the offensive line. You can see they just reestablish it on the Rockhurst side of the ball, and all Whitworth has to do is just pick a hole and just fall forward for a yard. That was a great drive. Went all the way downfield, controlled the ball, but this was the big play in the drive, the pass interference on Strozier. You can see him right at the top of the screen. You can see him come right around the wide receiver. Phil Mayfield gets his hands on the ball. Looks like it's an interception for Rockhurst, but no, they call Strozier for pass interference.
As
Blue Springs gets the first down.
What did you think of that call?
Well, of course, you know I'm going to be biased towards the defensive backs.
He has just as much right to that football.
That's exactly right, and I don't think that was a good call, because he didn't get his hand on the receiver whatsoever. He came around the receiver and was able to deflect the football. I do not agree with that pass interference call.
I'm with you, partner. 17-0. Blue Springs leading. Josh Barge to kick off. Tony Temple waiting near the 10-yard line. This will be a runner. Be Charbonneau from the 15 for Rockhurst. Charbonneau spinning off tackles and gets it up near the 31-yard line. So Rockhurst really has to get going, down 17-0 late stages of the 3rd here.
Well, they've got to come out. They've got to make some big plays and make some big plays in a hurry. They're down by 3 scores and 1 quarter left to do it. Basically, there's 26 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. But they've got to come out and they've got to throw the ball downfield and try to make something happen.
Johnny Sweeney, their gunslinger out there, number 5, the left-hander. 1st and 10. Sweeney on the roll. Setting up, now going to take off. And he runs into Joe Bach and Jake McMullen. And maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. No gain.
What they need to do is incorporate some screens or some misdirections, because this Blue Springs defense is flowing so fast, and when they're trying to roll out, they just don't have enough time for any of their quarterbacks to throw the ball.
3 quarters in the book here at PV Stadium in Blue Springs, and the Wildcats fans going nuts because Blue Springs has added another touchdown. Justin Whitworth with a short touchdown run, 17-0. Blue Springs on top of Rockhurst on our Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week. Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved, because high school activities are about learning life's values. Your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and Metro Sports remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. As we're underway in the fourth, Sweeney gunning the middle, long, incomplete. Tehan, the intended receiver, and it's going to be 3rd and 11 now for the Rock.
Rockhurst, if you're Rockhurst, you've got to get the ball to Tony Temple. Somehow run a screen to him, run some draws, split him out, and try to throw the ball to him. Get him in some space so that he can use his athletic ability. You can't just right now just drop back and try to wing it downfield. And it seems like they're really disorganized in their passing game. There's no rhyme or reason as to how they're trying to throw it right now.
Rockhurst 0 for 7 on 3rd downs. That's not going to win you too many ball games. 3rd down and 11. Sweeney under pressure, going down, sacked. A wave of purple, the ball came loose. Blue Springs got it. Bruce Ringwood's got the pigskin.
This is just a jailhouse break. You can see he has no time to set up whatsoever. Number 7, Troy Pike, is just a fool's 100-yard sprint at him and just lays into him, and the ball comes out. Ringwood's able to come up with it. Another big play for Blue Springs. They've made them all night long, and in a big game like this, big plays are what wins it for you, and Blue Springs has made virtually all of them tonight.
So the Wildcats will get it 1st and 10 at the Rockhurst 20, trying to put this one in the cooler. And now a timeout taken on the field by the Wildcats with 11:48 to go here in your 4th quarter, and things looking bleak now for Tony Severino and the Hawklets here as we play in the 4th.
Yes, they are. And this is a smart timeout by Coach Donahoe to settle his troops down. They just got a big play. They can sense the victory right now. Calm your troops down. Tell your offense, hey, settle down. Let's go out. If we get some points on the board right now, we can pretty much end this game. So it's a very smart timeout by Blue Springs to calm that offense down.
We've had a number of great games in this series. Let's look back to 1995.
He's down. 1 touchdown pass in the season for Cromley. He gives it off on the draw to Betts. He's gone.
Touchdown.
No one will catch him.
That is a touchdown.
70 yards, Liddell Betts. Alpers on the extra point. The snap is good. The kick is up. It is no good.
And Rockhurst has prevailed by 1 point, 7-6.
7-6. Rockhurst won back in 95. And on 1st down, they throw to the end zone. It is incomplete, looking for Josh Barge. So they go for the jugular right after the turnover.
You got to like the aggressiveness of Coach Donahoe. He knows that if they score right here, they virtually put it away. They just send Barge on a go route. You can see Strozier, he's lost right now. He's got to get his head around. And he doesn't do that. Barge, he just drops the ball. That should have been a touchdown for Blue Springs. You're not going to see Josh Barge drop very many of those.
2nd down and 10 now. Costa-Tuggle cuts it back right into a linebacker there. Scott Campbell. It's going to be 3rd down and long.
And there is absolutely no quit in these Rockhurst Hawklets. They've got a lot of pride and tradition. They're going to play this to the very end. They know that all they've got to do is come up with a couple big plays also. And you can see total yards tonight, Blue Springs 220. In their first meeting, 279. So they're pretty much on pace to do exactly what they did that first game, and they were victorious.
Rare you see Rockhurst held under 100 yards, but they did that earlier this season. On 3rd down and long, firing, and the pass is caught, complete. What a catch. Jordan Blease for the Wildcats and a first down.
These guys are just making big play after big play. They've been running this play all night. He just rolls out, and look at Blease right there. He just sticks him inside and runs the out route and just lays out. You see the way he used his hands. He didn't let the ball come to his body. He used his hands and came up with a big catch for Blue Springs.
First and goal now for the Wildcats from the 8-yard line. Tuggle pounding toward the end zone. He stopped it at the half-yard line. It'll be second down and goal, and Tuggle, boy, running hard there.
Just power football. This offensive line is just controlling the line of scrimmage. They are winning the battle in the trenches. And look at that hole. And I'm telling you, Tuggle, when you give a guy like Tuggle just a little bit of room to run, he's a big, strong kid. He's going to get those shoulder pads down. Even though he's got a bruised shoulder, you would never know it tonight because he's putting them down and he's laying the punishment on those linebackers and defensive backs.
Second down and goal now. Now confusion in the backfield, and Vaughn is blown up. He went to the fullback, and that play is stuffed. It'll be third and goal.
Just tried the quick hitter inside, but why go away from what's been working for you? Tuggle on that power O has just been getting 6-7 yards a pop, so don't go away from it. You see right here, the fullback just runs into the quarterback and is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, giving him third and goal. And I say you got to go with what's been working for you. Your offensive line has been blocking extremely well. Give it to your big play guy, Tuggle, and let him go straight ahead.
It'll be third and goal from the 1 now. The Wildcats leading 17-0. Under 10 to play in your ball game. The winner to the state semifinals. The loser, your season is over.
Just letting the clock run down.
Watching the play clock wind down. Toss it out to Tuggle. Cuts it back. Touchdown, Wildcats. Andrew Tuggle.
That offense is really rolling right now, starting to dominate and playing very smart. You saw Justin Whitworth, the quarterback, with the play clock right in front of him. Just wait until it was down to 2, and then they just run the toss. And Tuggle, again, a big, strong guy, doesn't need a lot of room, finds a crease, and is able to just get over the goal line.
24th touchdown of the season for Andrew Tuggle, and now they snap it back to Whitworth, who throws toward the end zone. Pennington's got it. It's a 2-point conversion. Ouch.
On a busted play.
25-0 Wildcats. Everything going right for the purple and gold tonight.
Everything going right. Whitworth, give that guy a lot of credit. He's showing a lot of poise and maturity. Even this play, it's a broken play, but instead of panicking, you see the high snap, and it's just a fire call. That means you've got to run for a pass, and instead of panicking, he just waits and allows his receiver, Pennington, to uncover and just tosses it right over everybody for a conversion. You can see the touchdown right here. Tuggle, he doesn't need a lot of room. He's going to get a yard, especially if you get him around the corner. And that offensive line, they can't get enough credit tonight. Those guys have completely dominated the trenches, and you can see from Coach Severino's standpoint, it does not look good.
9:08 to go in your ball game. Andrew Tuggle, there he is. 24th touchdown of the season. 75 on the night rushing.
And those are 75 tough yards also. There was nothing easy about those yards tonight. Even with the bruised shoulder, he showed a lot of heart.
Kick away, going to go out of bounds. And Danny Watkins missed that one, and Rockhurst will get it in good field position, but 25-0 is your score. Blue Springs. looking poised to head to the state semifinals.
And if you're Rockhurst right now, you just go straight to your 2-minute drill. There's no reason to huddle up and waste valuable seconds off the clock. Go straight into your into your 2-minute drill. But yet, even still, you got to get the ball to Tony Temple.
On 1st and 10, there goes Temple. Temple off to the races, still on his feet. Tony Temple driving through tackles and finally bumped out of play. Tony Temple would not be denied there.
That's why you've got to get him the football. Why haven't you done that all game? He's the guy that got you to this point anyway. Don't go away from him now. He's been in the ball game and you've kind of used him as a decoy. You got to get him the football. You can see he just has a lot of ability. They run the trap and he uses his speed. That's what he brings to this offense. And then he breaks tackles. He's strong, quick, and fast. And you can see he turns a short gain into almost a touchdown. Look at him just run through tackles. And those are big linebackers he's running through. Look at the explosion, the burst, and he still doesn't go down. You've got to get him the football.
Big run, 1st and 10 now for Cummings. Fire in the middle, and Bruce Ringwood had it right in his mitts and couldn't reel it in. Incomplete.
You know, the problem is in the passing game, they're running the same play all the time. So you would think that sooner or later, the defense is going to recognize it and run right to where the receivers are going. That's exactly what happened. Ringwood runs right under the receiver and almost comes up with another big interception. And you can see right here, Ringwood knows exactly what the play is because they've been running that play and only that play to try to throw the ball all night long.
2nd and 10 now. Hawklets have it at the 26. In Wildcat territory.
Backside.
Firing down the field. Intercepted by Chris Miller for the Wildcats. That young man's had a nice ball game tonight.
He sure has. And he did a good job of staying at home. But the problem is, Rockhurst took too long to throw the ball. He was open early, and we've got another flag.
So it may be waved off here. Last time we had an interception, it got waved off. Let's see what we got here.
Rockhurst doesn't look too happy.
Personal foul on the defense.
What number?
You can see they run the play action again, and he's got to throw it quicker, but he lets it go, and then right there,
Joe Bach.
Joe Bach
second of the night that he's been hit.
Too late. You've got to play smart. Even though you're winning, you're aggressive, you're intense, you've got to play smart. Because if he doesn't make that personal foul, Blue Springs has got the ball again. Now instead, Rockhurst keeps it, gets a 15-yard penalty, and still has a chance to get on the scoreboard.
I have a feeling Joe Bach's going to hear the coach's wrath in the film room.
No, not in the film room. He's going to hear it as soon as he comes to the sidelines. I guarantee you.
That's the second time he's got hit with that penalty tonight. As Temple trying to turn the corner, and Wildcats able to shut him down. Robert Taylor got there. And JC, last time Rockhurst has been shut out in a ball game, 1995 by Jeff City. The last time in the state playoffs they were shut out, 1992 by Blue Springs, 3-0.
It's been a long time, and there's a good possibility that they could get shut out again tonight. But what I'd like to see from Rockhurst is find a way to get Tony Temple involved in the passing game. If they're not handing it to him, they really can't get the ball to him, and that's really hurting them so far.
Cummings setting up, firing, and Pummel going down, makes the catch. 1st and goal, Hawklets at the 2. Oh, wow, he scraped that one right off the turf.
What a grab. You talk about a fingertip catch. Again, they run that same rollout play. This time they throw the out route to Pummel. And look at him go down after this ball. That is a great catch, and Ooh. Looked like he may have gotten away with one right there. That ball hit the ground, but hey, they called it a catch, so it is a catch.
Temple trying to go off the right side, and he's shy of the end zone. It'll be 2nd and goal. Yes, the officials called it a catch.
Well, they don't have instant replay in high school football like they do the NFL, and so if they call it a catch, it's a catch.
The official was right there, so he he made the call. 2nd down and goal. One more look here.
And there's no question this ball hits the ground. Great effort, though, by Pummel. But look at the ball. The ball is laying on the ground right there. He does a good job of selling it, and the referee believes him.
Cummings takes it on the quarterback sneak. Touchdown, Hawklets, with 7:14 to go in the 4th. It's 25-6, so there will be no shutout. Rockhurst on the board. And looking to the sidelines about going for 2 here. Johnny Sweeney will come in and run the 2-point try, quarterback. Sweeney on the roll. Sweeney going to the back of the end zone. It is caught. Adam Pummel with the 2-point conversion.
We've got a flag, another flag.
Hold on. Hold the phone here.
The yellow hankies come out an awful lot tonight, especially in the 2nd half.
Holding on the defense, declined. Good.
That man right there, Coach Donahoe, better be getting his hands team ready and warmed up, because you better believe with 7 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game, Rockhurst is going to try the onside kick.
7-play drive, 65 yards. Chris Cummings with the 1-yard plunge.
But the big play in that drive was Tony Temple, and the run by Temple. They have to find a way to get him the football. If you're not handing it to him, run some screens, run some draws, or split him out and allow him to work one-on-one in some wide open space, because, you know, to be honest with you, there's not very many people that are going to tackle him one-on-one in space.
Well, the problem there is he doesn't catch the football out of the backfield that well. So they don't use him in that package very often. It's something they're trying to incorporate into their schemes, but he's still only, 15 years old, and he's still learning. He runs the football pretty well, but catching it out of the backfield is not all that easy like everybody thinks.
But that's not something that they've just now realized.
He's getting better at it.
They've known that all year. They should have been working with him every day to improve his hands, because it will open up this offense for him tremendously.
Squib kick. And that was one of their goals this year, as Curtis Cooper covers it up. And it'll be Blue Springs football at the 44. That was the main goal this year with Tony. They said, we want him to learn to catch the football out of the backfield, and we're going to try to help him.
But the problem is they haven't been creative enough in getting him out. They've tried to throw him the ball on that wheel route, which he's been open a couple times. They just haven't been able to get to him. So obviously they have confidence in throwing the ball to him, but it's just that one route. They've got to incorporate him with some other types of routes to get the ball to him.
1st and 10, Wildcats, just over 7 to play. Toss it to Tuggle. Good block, cuts it up. Tuggle to the 45, close to a 1st down. Rich Whitney with the tackle, and Tuggle's getting stronger.
This whole offense is getting stronger, especially the offensive line. Just doing a tremendous job this 2nd half, and if they can keep the ball on the ground like they're going to do and put another long drive together, they can virtually eat up the rest of the time on the clock. Tuggle, you got to like Tuggle. He runs hard. He's not a guy that's going to give you a lot of shake and not very much wiggle. He's just going to come north-south, downhill at you, and you better be ready to square up and take him on. If not, he's going to run right through you.
He's got deceptive speed. He's a 4.6 40 guy, but out there he looks kind of a little bit like a plotter, but he follows his blocks well. He's a very intelligent runner. Tuggle cutting it back. swerving down to the 40 and a pickup of 5 on the play. And things getting a little heated on both sides. We're seeing a lot of shoving after the play on both sides now.
Some frustration, of course, on Rockhurst. You know, when they look up at the scoreboard, they're not accustomed to being in this situation, of course. And, you know, so they're frustrated, especially as big as a game as this is and the implications. They know that if they don't make something happen pretty quickly, their season comes to an end.
Second down and 5 now for the Wildcats. As Whitworth continues to bleed the clock, gives to Vaughn, the fullback breaking free. Fullback Joey Vaughn fighting hard down to the 21. He hasn't run it much, but he's been effective tonight. Joey Vaughn.
And everything is working right now for Blue Springs. That's because Rockhurst knows that they've got to try to make something happen. They just run the counter, and they're so intent on trying to make something happen that they start to get undisciplined, get out of their lanes, and they get gashed. And you can see the counter right here. Everybody's flowing so quickly outside. They just come right back with the counter, and it's wide open. Joey Vaughn just does a good job of running power, strong football downfield.
19 yards on the play. First and 10 Wildcats here. This is Matt Webb now into the game. It's a gain of about 4 or 5 on the play.
You can see they're getting 4 or 5 yards a pop right now. That shows you that this offensive line is just dominating. And the defense of Rockhurst at this point, you know, they haven't given up completely, but they know the game is out of hand. And right now the effort is coming all from Blue Springs.
Blue Springs looking to go to 12-0 on the year.
He's exhausted.
You can hear Coach Severino talking about his defensive players, saying that they're exhausted. It's because they've been on the field the majority of the game.
Second down now for the Wildcats. Matt Webb again. Webb to the 11, then pushed out of bounds. A gain of 4. The third down and short here.
They get another 4-yard run, but what they're going to tell Webb in the huddle is stay in bounds. Don't let them push you out of bounds and get the clock stopped. They've been doing a great job of coming to the line of scrimmage and hiking the ball with about 2 or 3 seconds left on the play clock. But whenever they get pushed out of bounds, the clock stops. And that's not what Blue Springs wants.
They have a measurement here as the chain gang coming in. See the crowds tonight. Both sides filled up here. PV Stadium in Blue Springs. Kevin White, Lacey Woolard, J.C. Pearson.
First down. First down.
First down, Wildcats.
They can kind of sense that this game is just about over for them and their season's coming to an end. With about 4.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Flags on the play here. Play clock still at 14 on it.
And as a coach, have you ever seen a coach happy about a penalty? He's up 25-8 with 4.5 minutes left. Still hasn't cracked a smile.
Nope. Not yet. Be first and 15 with the 5-yard penalty. Matt Webb is the lone setback. Little trap play to fullback there, and Kevin Kane shuts down Joey Vaughn for not much there. Run that play a couple times, but the Hawklets were ready for it this time.
They were, but if Kane doesn't step up and make that play, Vaughn has another big play and may go in for a touchdown. But You know, when you get a defense flowing as fast as Rockhurst is, and now they're flowing exceptionally quick, they're almost guessing because they want to try to make something happen. That's when they're really prone to giving up a big play on a misdirection like a counter.
Second down and long here. As Whitworth continues to watch the clock wind down. Before he snaps it. On the roll, looking for Barge. Barge with the catch. And steps out of bounds. It'll be first and goal here for Blue Springs. As Josh Barge continues his good night here.
Whitworth, I'm telling you, this guy is impressive. He's shown a lot of poise tonight. See, he avoids the rush and just throws the ball where only his guy can catch it right there. Just taking what the defense gives you. And he's shown a lot of poise throughout this game.
There was a flag here on the play. Looks like there's a flag in the end zone here, JC.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, and it's holding on Rockhurst, so of course they're going to decline that, but
holding on the defense is declined. Result of the play. Result of the play is third down.
It's going to be actually third down. He came up a little short. Third down and a couple.
I don't know,
here.
Kevin. If they don't decline that defensive holding, is that an automatic first down?
I think so.
Maybe a slight coaching mistake, but when you're up 25 to 8, exactly, up 25 to 8 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left, it's not going to impact you that much.
So actually third down and a couple here. Toss it to Webb, and he tripped over his own lineman there and comes up shy of the first down. So the clock at 3:12 to go in your ball game. And Rockhurst has burned a timeout here, down 25 to 8. Coming up Saturday night on Metro Sports, you can watch the Kansas 6A state title game. Olathe North trying to make it back-to-back state titles in 5 of the last 6 as they take on the team they beat last year 42-7. That's the Manhattan Indians in Emporia. You can watch it Saturday night, 9 p.m. on Metro Sports.
Fans on the Blue Springs side. Not as happy, of course, on that Rockhurst sideline. I've been in that situation a number of times, and it's tough to. It's always tough to take a loss, but especially in a game with this much on the line and knowing that, hey, your season's over, and for those seniors over there knowing that they put that uniform on for the last time, it's tough to deal with.
It's going to be fourth down and 4 here for the Wildcats as we got 3:08 to go. Tony Severino still not giving up, still talking to his troops.
He's a great coach and a very classy guy, and he's just telling his guys, hey, let's just play hard, show a lot of class, and just get this game over with, but don't give up. And you can see him, he's not going to give up, and he's not going to stop coaching all the way till the end, and that's why he's such a great coach.
5 state titles, 4 on the Missouri side, 1 on the Kansas side for that gentleman, Tony Severino. Faces have been inserted into the Rockhurst lineup here. Clean jerseys on the field.
And that shows a lot of class by Coach Severino. Of course, some of those guys were tired, but then he wanted to get some other guys in the ball game, maybe some guys who haven't played a whole lot in their Rockhurst careers. Now they're going to get a chance to get on the field.
4th and 4 now. Toss it out, Tuggle back in the game, powers toward the end zone, and he's going to come up a little bit short.
And we've got another flag. can hear the Blue Springs coaches are not real happy. Think you're going to get a late hit or a clipping on Blue Springs. And Coach Donahoe was yelling at Cale Brewster down there, asking him, what is wrong with you? We can't afford to have a penalty right now. We want this clock to continue to run. He is not happy.
Donahoe saying that's a first down, and then it's a dead ball penalty. Let's see what the referee says. Kent Henry.
He thinks he's about to make the call. I hope he knows.
It's a first down, so they got to take the penalty.
It is a first down for the Wildcats here.
So they are going to
assess the penalty here.
Exactly, but it's going to be a new set of downs for them with about 3 minutes and 3 seconds left on the clock.
Personal foul on the offense.
Well, they got to figure it out. At least he made a call, Kev.
That man's still not happy, though.
And the reason why he's not happy is because, of course, in this ball game, it doesn't matter. But as they continue to progress on their way to a hopeful state championship, you can't afford to have those kind of penalties because they'll come back and hurt you in a tight ball game.
So move it back to the 16-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. Or 1st and goal, pardon me. Well, they've set the change where they can get a first down here. Hold on. Scoreboard says 1st and goal.
Well, it's going to be 1st and goal. They got the first down, I believe, on the 1-yard line and then got pushed back.
This game has come to a screeching halt.
A lot of confusion out there by those guys in the striped jerseys.
Well, they're just trying to get it right here. This is a quarterfinal ball game.
And for Blue Springs, I mean, you've got to give those guys a lot of credit. They came out, made a lot of big plays early in this ball game, and then were able to sustain it. They were able to hold off all the Rockhurst tries at them and was able to hold those guys out until late in the 4th quarter.
So now the yardage stakes are laid down. It is 1st and goal from the 16 now for Blue Springs. And more flags here.
Dead ball.
Coach Donahoe's not going to be happy about all these penalties late in the ball game. As I said, in this game, it really doesn't matter. But as they progress on, every little penalty is going to be magnified. They can't afford to have any mental errors, false start penalties, personal fouls, things like that, because you're hurting your team. And as the games get bigger, every penalty is magnified.
Check the 2A quarterfinals, and oh my, the defending state champion St. Pius trailing by 8 just down the road at Grain Valley. Rick Byers' team trying to rally. One of the defending champions is going to go down here tonight. St. Pius could go down on the road as well.
It looks like we're finally going to get to play again, Kevin. After what seemed like another intermission.
2:52 to go in your ball game. cross sweep. Webb cutting it back. Still fighting down to the 18-yard line. So as we wind things down here, Blue Springs now will take on the winner of Springfield Kickapoo or the Jeff City Jays. And the Wildcats, we do know, since hosting this ball game, will be on the road coming up this Saturday, whether it be Springfield or Jeff City. We haven't heard yet on the winner of that ball game, but the Wildcats have to go on the road now as they try to have their first ever undefeated season. On their record to 12-0. Keep in mind they won the state championship in 1992. They were 13-1 that year. As the fullback Vaughn pounds it to the 15-yard line. Clock approaching 2 minutes to go here in your ball game. And a timeout is taken by Rockhurst as Tony Severino goes out to talk to his team.
And with 2 minutes to go, obviously he knows that this ball game is out of reach, but he wants to show his kids that there's no quit in him. And you see he's just gathering those guys up and telling them, hey, let's just finish this ball game hard. Let's show a lot of class, have some pride, and just end this in a very classy fashion.
Well, basketball season is here. Get your tickets today for the 2001 Guardians Classic coming up the 20th and 21st of November. It's at the Kemper Arena. 2 games on the 20th, 2 on the 21st, featuring such teams as Iowa, Memphis, Alabama, and the Missouri Tigers. For tickets, call 816-931-3330, or you can go to the website, guardiansclassic.com. It's the 2001 NABC Guardians Classic coming to the Kemper Arena the 20th and 21st of November. Check another score here in Park Hill, putting it on Cinderella Center. Greg Reynolds has done a great job with the Park Hill Trojans. They'll move to the semifinals. And 3rd down and goal. Webb in trouble, going nowhere.
And you can see they've told Webb, whatever you do, stay in bounds. Don't stretch that thing too wide. Get anywhere near the sideline so they can push you out of bounds. They want to stop the clock, make them use their timeouts.
Rockhurst has 1 timeout left. And they will use it here. 1:52 to go in the ball game. Tony Severino is going to fall on the road tonight, and they're going to end their season with a 9-2 mark. So Rockhurst will not go back to St. Louis and defend their title this year. Their season ends in the quarterfinals to Blue Springs, it looks like here, barring any huge miracles.
And a little bit of payback for Blue Springs. Last year, of course, Rockhurst beat them twice. There was some question this year, see if Blue Springs could beat Rockhurst twice. Of course, we've been saying that they beat them a little earlier in the season, and I guess they're about to do that.
It's time now for our BrandSmart play of the game. You can watch football all fall and winter from the best seats in the house on a new big screen from BrandSmart. Pivotal play here, JC.
The pass interference right there on Strozier. There was a very questionable call. If they don't make that call, Rockhurst comes up with a big interception and is deep in Blue Springs territory. Instead, they call the pass interference. Blue Springs goes down and scores a touchdown.
That is our BrandSmart play of the game. 4th and goal. Whitworth going to throw toward the end zone. Barge! Touchdown!
Just icing on the cake, I guess, for Blue Springs. Maybe they were upset at the timeouts that Coach Severino kept calling to stop the clock. They say, okay, well, we're going to run the go route outside the barge. And we saw earlier in the game, he dropped one. And I said, you're not going to see him drop very many of those. They come back to him at the end of the game, and he definitely makes the catch for a touchdown and the icing on the cake for Blue Springs.
15-yard touchdown pass, the 10th touchdown catch of the season for Josh Barge. Now 20 TD passes for Whitworth as the extra point is through.
And nothing fancy. Josh Barge just runs a go route. Whitworth just lays it up, gives Barge an opportunity to make a play, and you can see it's right on the money. There is no way Barge was going to drop that one after the one he dropped earlier. And nothing fancy. Again, just a fade route. They throw the ball out there, and they're able to beat Corlin Charbonneau, the cornerback, and take the score up to 31-8.
The extra point actually no good. 31-8. Josh Barge. The guy was a hurdles champion. Guy's an all-state wide receiver, having a good season. Got his brother Jared on the staff this year, so it's been a good season for the Barge family as it's 31-8 with under 2 to play. As we're in the 4th quarter, seems like we're in the 6th quarter.
Well, Barge was the guy that Coach Severino was really worried about. He said he didn't know if they had anybody that could cover him, and Barge obviously had another big game for Blue Springs tonight.
Watkins' kick is out of bounds again.
That's about the only thing that they've done bad all night long is kick those kickoffs out of bounds. That's 2 in a row. So I'm sure they're going to be working on that this week.
Barge on the sidelines. His brother was standing right in front of him there. Brother Jared was an all-state player here as well. So 2 from the Barge family all-state. It's Tony Severino. Going to see his season end tonight as the Wildcats, Justin Whitworth led 10-0 at half. They've had some long time-consuming drives and take care of business here in the second half as they'll run it to 12-0 this year and go to the state semifinals.
And Coach Severino is going to make Blue Springs kick it again instead of just taking the ball and the penalty. Obviously, they want to see if they can get the ball in Temple's hands, who's deep, one of the deep backs. See if they can make something happen. A little bit of, maybe a little bit of a mind play going on between these two coaches. Coach Severino calls a couple timeouts, and Coach Donahoe says, okay, well, we're going to throw the go route and score a touchdown. And now Severino makes him re-kick it.
And Danny Watkins, after 2 shanks, he's going to go to the sideline. Josh Barge will kick off now. The runner, Marcus Perry, takes it from the 26 and across the 40 to the 42. All over but the shouting now. 1:40 to go in your ball game. Rockhurst down 31-8.
And obviously, by looking at Coach Severino right there, he's still trying to score some points instead of saying, hey, let's just run this clock out and get the game over with. It looks like they're going to come out and try to get on the board again.
First and 10 from the 42 now for the Hawklets as Temple going in motion. Cummings firing back, caught by Pummel. Take it down at the 39-yard line as we check in with Lacey Woolard.
All right, Kevin, pretty self-explanatory. Blue Springs is state bound. It's been a fun night, exciting down here on the field. Hope you guys had a good time. Back up to you.
1:32 to go in your ball game here. Cummings getting away from pressure, rolling the pocket, firing against his body, and coming back and making the reception is Brandon Hill. Boy, nice comeback route there by Hill. to take it in.
And I tell you what, give these Rockhurst kids a lot of credit. There is no give up in any of these guys. They are out there and they are fighting tooth and nail, knocking Blue Springs guys all over the place, even though the game is virtually over.
23-yard pass play as Cummings continues to scramble, firing to the end zone, and nice break up there by Chris Miller as the pass was intended for Jeff Snodgrass.
And that young man right there, Chris Miller, has had a very good night playing in the secondary for Blue Springs. You can see he doesn't get fooled at all by the roll to the right when it comes back to him. Does a great job right there playing the football, gets his head around like all good defensive backs do, and almost comes up with an interception.
Second down and 10 on the play fake. Cummings firing to Tehan, touchdown, Rockhurst. Kyle Tehan with the touchdown grab, 16 yards.
And all that does is make you think, well, where was that earlier in the ball game? Why do they wait until the very end of the game and the game is out of hand to make some plays? And you can see it's a play that they've been running all night, the play action, and you can see the wide receiver just drags from the left side and runs across and gets in front of Miller and is able to come up with a touchdown for Rockhurst.
Two-point conversion try coming up here by the Hawklets. Toss sweep to Tony Temple, and he goes in untouched. But really a pretty quiet night for number 20 tonight.
Sure was, and for reasons I have no idea of, if I'm Tony Severino, I'm giving Tony Temple the ball as much as possible, but of course that was not in their game plan tonight, and he wasn't able to do very much, and this offense really struggled the majority of this ball game. And obviously you can look at the score and see that they just didn't make enough big plays.
Well, you also got to tip your cap to the Blue Springs defense, JC. I mean, this is a defense that doesn't give up a whole heck of a lot of points.
They have all the makings of a great defense. They've got good size, good strength, and a lot of speed on that defense, and those guys are aggressive.
They only give up 8 points per game if you take a look at Darius Witherspoon with ice on his shoulder. But total offense, this defense only gives up 144 yards per game. So this is pretty stingy defense.
They're not giving up a whole lot, and they didn't give up a whole lot tonight. And that's why these guys are in the position they're in. Not only can they make plays offensively, but their defense is very, very good. And then special teams play, that really set the tempo. The first quarter, they come out and block the first Rockhurst punt, and then it was all downhill for Rockhurst from there.
Setting up for the onside kick here. And big old Scott Seago covers it up for Blue Springs. Time now for our players of the game, brought to you by your Kansas City Metro Farmers Insurance agents. Farmers Insurance can help you get things back where they once were. Contact your local Farmers Insurance agent for coverage that's right for you. Remember, Farmers get you back where you belong. And Andrew Tuggle, bad shoulder and all, had a heck of a game, JC.
Had a tremendous ball game. A lot of tough yards inside. He was the guy that really opened it up for this offense by getting those tough yards inside. You can see he had a bruised shoulder, but you would never know it. He would lower him every time and fall forward like all good running backs do.
93 yards and a touchdown for Andrew Tuggle. And for Rockhurst, middle linebacker Kevin Kane. 7 tackles, had an interception. He's sideline to sideline, 60s everywhere.
He was all over the football field, and you see just steps right in the passing lane in the second quarter and stops a big Blue Springs drive. And you can see in the run game, he showed up big time, as he has done all season long. The leader of that defense, big Kevin Kane.
And Blue Springs will take a knee here and wind this one out here. Well, last year, Rockhurst would sweep Blue Springs 21-14 in the regular season, then 20-16 in the quarterfinals. Well, this year the tables are turned. It's a Blue Springs sweep as Kelly Donahoe's team wins both ball games. The regular season ball game at Dasta Stadium at Rockhurst, and the big one here, the quarterfinal matchup. Final score tonight, 31-16 from PV Stadium in Blue Springs on our Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week. So Blue Springs is headed to the state semifinals with a 12-0 mark. We're back to wrap things up here from PV Stadium after this break.
The High School Game of the Week is brought to you by Hy-Vee and their 20 Kansas City area employee-owned Hy-Vee locations, Farmers Insurance, and these Kansas City Metro agents. Contact your local Farmers agent today. Remember, Farmers get you back where you belong. BrandsMart, the big screen store. KC Bobcat in Blue Springs, Grandview, and Olathe. And by AMC Theaters.
Number 1 and still undefeated. Blue Springs beats Rockhurst here 31-16 to go to the state semifinals on Saturday. They will face Jeff City, and they'll play at Jeff City on Saturday. And JC, they got some early breaks, took advantage of them. The defense stout. They were able to run the football with Tuggle and get the big pass play now and then.
Very impressive win for Blue Springs in all phases. Offense, they were able to make some big plays. Defense, of course, stepped up and played tough. And on special teams, that third part, they came out the first quarter and established the tempo.
Our producer tonight has been Steve Kurtenbach. Our statisticians, Brian Terrell and Ted Boland, for J.C. Pearson, Lacey Woolard, and our entire Metro Sports broadcasting crew. Kevin White saying goodnight from the PV Stadium in Blue Springs, Missouri, where the Wildcats move to the state semifinals with an unblemished record as they handle Rockhurst. Final score tonight, 31-16. Good night, everybody.